You're welcome back. The time approximately is 5:05 and we're still waiting on the Electoral Commission for the approved results of the 2024 general election. But as it is now, Pent TV, your election watch, we're here and we've gathered a few provisional total results from the constituencies that is under our watch. And currently Joshua is here with me. We're going to go on the board and get the facts and figures while we're also aligning and giving you the presidential results, the provisional presidential results that we have gathered from the grounds. So Joshua, good morning once again. It's been quite a run this evening, throughout the evening all the way to this dawn. We've been here monitoring the elections, but what do you have on the charts as it is?
Good morning, Grace. So like you said, we've been here since yesterday. This is our comprehensive election coverage. So let's start with Pent TV Online,
right,
our website, where we have told our viewers that we would be giving them live updates of our 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Now, if you go to our website right now, we've given you update on results we've collated so far. And as at now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is having 39,962 votes here, whilst His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is having 50,966 votes, and that represents 56.05% of the total votes and 43.95% of the total vote we have collated now. Let us note that these are provisional results. We are hoping that the EC, within 72 hours, like they said, will provide us with the certified results, and we will know. So do not just jubilate over this. Yes, this is an early win for some people, but in the end, the EC's results will be what is final. And so there are some parliamentary seats that, per our count, have been won so far, and so these are them. In the greens are for the NDC, whilst the blues are for the NPP. And so our count continues as and when we get the results, we will put them in, Grace.
Right. So I see some of the seats there. Maybe we would establish exactly what they are. Some of the NDC seats filling about 10.87% already, and I see 6.88% for the NPP.
Yes.
Analyzing these results, what can you let the layman understand?
Sure. So we have 276 seats this year going to the election, and so let's count. For the NDC so far, per our checks, per our counts, these are the seats they've won: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, let me hide this, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
30 seats so far filled for the NDC.
For the NDC, as our count has reviewed. For the NPP, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 seats for the NPP, 30 for the NDC.
And that is what is reflecting in the 10.87% for the NDC and 6.88% for the NPP.
Now, there's still a lot to go. There's so 30 plus 14 is somewhere around 44.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of seats more to go. There's 276 constituencies, and so we have a lot more to go. Now, as and when you refresh, if there's new data, you get the data, Grace.
Right. So we have the data as of the centrals and the constituencies that we have. So we'll quickly give you those updates as and when they pop up. But we'll start with Navrongo Central. We have the charts. When they're ready, they'll be on your screens. But for now, I'll give you what we have here. And Navrongo Central presidential, the provisional results that we have as of now, the NPP has garnered 10,899 votes so far. The NDC is looking at 26,035 votes. The other, let me say, parliamentary actors that are also looking forward to break their neck in this election, as figuratively we would put it, is 648. So that is for Navrongo Central right now as we're speaking. But yes, so you see that on your screens, Navrongo Central, Baumia taking 10,899 and Mahama taking 26,035 votes.
In 2012.
Yes, in 2012.
Yes, in 2012. So we can look at the trend analysis in 2012 for Navrongo Central. Just like you said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC got 5,574. That's 5 million.
Yes.
574,000.
So these figures that you're giving now is from 2012.
Right. Yes. So we'll look at the trends that have led to 2024, where we have the results you called out.
Okay.
And so in 2012, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his NDC got 5,574,761, which represented 50.70 of the total votes cast, whilst the NPP had 5,248,898, representing 47.74 percent of the votes. Now that is in 2012, and so it means that 2012 Navrongo was for the NDC.
Yes.
Let's look at 2016, and then let's go and search for Navrongo Central. Navrongo Central again. Yes, that's Navrongo Central. So in 2012 for Navrongo Central, the NDC had 18,810 votes. Let me expand this so our viewers can better appreciate it. In 2012, the NDC had 18,810 votes, whilst the Navrongo NPP had 18,759 votes. Yes, and so 2020. Let's see 2020 before we come back to 2024 for Navrongo Central. And Navrongo Central for 2020 presidential results. The NDC got 26,099, 26,099, whilst the NPP got a little below 15,537.
Right.
So,
in comparing this figure from 2020 to what we have here as the provisional results for 2024, you realize that the NDC is more or less on the same tangent.
Yeah.
Because you see here 26,035 votes, quite not so far from what they had last 4 years, 2020, 26,099. But for the NPP, it's quite uncertain. The gap is a bit much. That is 2020, they had 15,537. But you realize here that it's just 10,899 that the NPP is working with this year provisionally. Let's go to Mpoho and the presidential provisional results that we have from Mpoho this morning. The NPP has garnered 8,293. 8,293 for the NPP. Now we will take a look at the NDC as well, who have also gathered 11,062 votes as and when it is. But Joshua, let's do the comparison of Mpoho starting 2012, the figures that we have. The NDC and NPP in 2012, I realized that the NPP took the seat for that year.
Yes, so for the presidential in 2012, Mpoho, the NPP won the seat with 8,437 votes, whilst the NDC just got 7,955 votes. 7,955 votes. Now I think we can go to 2016 for Mpoho and also see what both candidates got. Mpoho. So let's Mpoho help me out.
Yes, so that's Mpoho that Joshua is currently working on to give us the figures. But you have on your screens the provisional results that we have right now. And the NPP has carried away 8,299 votes, while the NDC is also looking at 11,680 But in 2016,
yes,
we gathered that the NPP took more than the NDC, quite contrary to what we
yes,
have here on our
yes.
screens.
And it's interesting because in 2012 also, the NPP had the winning from Mpoho. And so in 2016, in Mpoho, the NPP had 9,474 votes, whilst the NDC had 6,470 votes. 6,470 votes for Mpoho.
Right.
Yes, and so let's look at, I think we can look at the presidential as well, parliamentary as well for Mpoho.
Right.
Even though it has not come. Okay, so let's do the presidential, then
Right.
later we do the
Right.
parliamentary. But like you said on our screens, we have the results. Yes.
So that is the NPP John Kobana Abam Abua Sani, and he has been able to gather 8,299. But for the NDC, where Bento Godfred stood, Bento Godfred Henry, when he stood, he was able to carry away 11,680 votes as it is now. But I was looking at the vast difference that we have. Now we're looking at 2020, the
Yes,
statistics
please.
that we had. And the NPP carried away with about 15,537 votes. And you see here that is a complete contrast
Yes.
to what is happening this year per the provisional results that we
Sure.
have. Joshua.
So in 2020, the NPP had 15,537. That is what they used to win the Mpoho
Right.
seat. Whilst the NDC had 26,099 votes. Now look at this. So this is what actually happened. The NPP for Mpoho in 2020. So this is the result: 11,739. 11,739. Then the NDC had 9,254. Look at the results for
Right.
2024, the
Right.
provisional results we've gotten.
Right.
This time, the NDC is having what the NPP had in
Yes,
2020 and
exactly.
far beyond. So this is 11,739, almost over there, 11,680. It means that Mpoho has shifted from the conventional NPP wins to the NDC.
Yes.
And there are a lot of factors that may have come in. I mean, a lot of things happened in this election season, and so Mpoho, we might have to find out what exactly made them switch from blue to green.
Yeah, I think the pendulum was swung really far this time in comparison between the two parties there. But you realize that the votes that, as you rightly said, in 2020 they gathered is what the NDC has this time so effortlessly put together for the win in Mpoho. But if you look at the presidential for Mpoho, you realize that Baumia is the one that is carrying away the 293, and Mahama is now looking at 11,062 for John Dramani Mahama there. So it's a flat hands down win, if you ask me, from the statistics that we're looking. Even though it's yet to be confirmed by the Electoral Commission, we're looking at a possible win for the NDC in Mpoho. But looking at the statistics, what do we have?
So from the presidential, I think we can stay still in Mpoho and look at the parliamentary election. I think from there we can go back to Navrongo and also look at the parliamentary. Now, Mpoho seems to be a loyal NPP seat since 2012. And so look at the parliamentary. In 2012, Mpoho gave NPP the parliamentary lead with 7,114. 7,114. And then they gave the NDC just somewhere around 6,333.
Right.
Yes, so that is what Mpoho did in 2012. And in 2016, let's see. So we can maybe look at some other vote statistics here at Mpoho. What happened in Mpoho at the parliamentary level. So, like we know, Mpoho is in the western region of Ghana. And the NPP won that with 7,140, like I said.
Right.
The NDC got 6,334. Other political parties had just around 4,015. Then the winner for the NPP was Alex Kofi Ejekum.
Yes.
Alex Kofi Ejekum. And then the percentages are there. NPP percentage 39.81, whilst the NDC had 35.44 of the vote. The total number of registered voters as at that time in 2012 for Mpoho was 23,301. And the valid votes that were cast were 17,598, whilst the rejected ballots were 274. That was for 2012 parliamentary in Mpoho. Grace,
Right.
I think we can go to 2016 parliamentary in Mpoho.
Let's go to 2016.
Yes. Let's go to Mpoho. Mpoho. Mpoho in the western region of Ghana.
In the meantime, let me
Yes.
pass through with some comments on the page that are coming in following this live feed of the election. And Kingsley Amwa says, greatly commendable and cheers. Reverend Sir Francis says, leadership by example. Inshiraba Jonathan says, Pent TV, I must say, has taken journalism to a different level despite being established to carry COP-related telecasts, is now competing with great media houses like the Media General and Multimedia Group in the country, and I must commend them. From church activities to social and current trends is a plus for them. Let's show them some love. That is Inshiraba Jonathan on that. Jean Benjamin Gagnon also says, God bless Ghana, and we are appreciative of these messages that are coming in very soon. But Joshua, now you have the statistics we can look into.
Yes, so in 2016 for the parliamentary at Mpoho, they still gave the NPP the lead, just like they did on the presidential. So you realize that in 2012, they gave the NPP both parliamentary and presidential. In 2016, they are doing the same thing.
Right.
They gave the presidential candidate the win and the parliamentary candidate also the win. So in parliament, the parliamentary seat, the Mpoho NPP candidate got 8,364 votes. 8,364 votes, whilst the NDC got 6,947 votes.
Right.
Yes, in 2016. Now in 2020, at Mpoho, we realized that the NPP still took the lead, just like they did in the presidential. 11,896. 11,896, whilst the NDC got just around 9,691. And the differences were still huge. A little over 1,000, a little over 2,000, 4,000. You could see over the years. Now, there were 9,695 votes for the NDC, like we have said. NPP had 11,896.
Right.
We are looking at the ballot statistics, the voter statistics for that day. And then the percentage of the votes, the NDC had 35.44, whilst the NPP got 40.43%. The NDC candidate was Eric Kweku Cheme. Eric Kweku Cheme, who could have win. But the NPP candidate who won was John Kobna Abwa.
And
Sani.
he is the one that, unfortunately, this year has
lost
been
the
able
seat,
to
yes.
lose
Yes.
for the NPP. As per the provisional results that we have, it seems Bento Godfred Henry would be the one taking over should the EC confirm the statistics.
Yes. So you realize that the NDC also changed their candidate, but the NPP maintained their candidate.
Right.
And so Eric Kweku Cheme, who was standing for the NDC in 2020, was substituted during primaries for Bento Godfred Henry.
Right.
And Bento did the magic. And so maybe Eric might have to consult Bento to know what
Exactly
magic he
what
did around.
did.
Yes, and because beating the incumbent MP who had around 11,896, and he won with 11,680, just around that
The same
margin. Yes, it's an interesting trend. Maybe the people are just tired of the party they've been voting for over the years, but maybe Henry had a touch somewhere. So that is for Mpoho, for the presidential and parliamentary. Yes.
Well, great figures there, I must say. We'll quickly go on to the other constituencies that we have. We have Brekum East, Gomoa West, Asin Central, Mpoho Central, Second D, and all these factors I'm telling you has been detailed, and they are the ones that our correspondents from the ground have been able to gather and put forth so far. So we will also serve you with the very best details until the next graphics is ready and we project them. Joshua, maybe we can look at the graph and the charts that we have, whereas the independent or even the major minority and majority parties are concerned as well.
Yes, so let's see if the other votes, let's go, so let's stay with Impoho.
Yes, we're staying
Yes, let's stay with Impoho for the parliamentary. And in parliamentary, other parties were able to gather in 2012, like I said, somewhere around 4,151, spread across all the other independent candidates. In 2016, let's see if we have the same figure there for independent candidates. So let's see other candidates. Okay, so that wouldn't be captured here. But we can look at the other regions before the graphics come in.
Yes.
So some of the constituencies we have.
Yes. So for that, I think we can go to Brekum East.
Yes.
Now, as we're speaking, Brekum East has the presidential provisional hinging NPP at 16,556, the NDC at 20,093, while the other parties that are also trying to find their feet are looking at 1,084. So we'll look at the statistics starting 2012 all the way to 2020, what Brekum East has been putting forth so far, whereas the presidential and parliamentary candidates are concerned. So Joshua, let's quickly go to where we've mentioned, and that is Brekum East,
yes,
to get the updates starting 2012, what has been happening, whereas the two parties and the others are concerned.
Yes, I'm trying to hard so that I get Brekum East for you as soon as possible from our chat, so that we can look at the trend so far in Brekum East, so that we can look at the trend so far. So my map is taking a while to load Brekum East. So, but we can come back to Brekum East, so we can move to Gomoa West, I think. And so then we come back.
If we have Gomoa West, we can go on to Gomoa West. Gomoa West is the presidential provisional results that we have, and let's look at it in detail. The NPP is now looking at 8,385 votes as we speak now, and the NDC is also looking at 11,999 votes. The others that are also helping out to churn their face and get grounding are also looking at 489. We put them all together, both independent and other candidates that we have there as well. But do you have Gomoa West as it is?
Yes,
now?
So I have Gomoa West for 2020, but I want our trends to start from 2012
as
yes.
it is.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at Gomoa West.
So this is Gomoa West in 2012.
Great.
In 2012, Gomoa West was green for the NDC. Now, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who represented the NDC, had 5,574,761 in the Gomoa West constituency, which is in the central region of Ghana. The percentage of green was 50.70% of the total votes.
Joshua, let me end you right there. We'll just come back to it. But now we have the Brekum East statistics on the charts. You realize that the Brekum East constituency now has, as I mentioned earlier, 16,556 for Honorable Martin Amidu Baba for the NPP, the New Patriotic Party. And you realize that Honorable Martin Amidu is also looking at the NDC, and I think this may be something production may want to look at this as well. But the NDC is carrying 20,093 for the NDC, and the NPP is looking at 16,556. So Joshua, if you have the Gomoa West, we can go back to it and then get the details.
Yes, so voter turnout in Gomoa West in 2012 was 79.43%. Now, so the winning party was the NDC, like I said. And the percentage
and I'm looking about 27,624 votes there.
Yes, for the NDC.
With a percentage of 55.58.
Yes, that is what actually happened in the Gomoa West constituency for the NDC. So let's say this. That's votes per constituency, 27,624. And so this is the total national vote for the NDC. This is the constituency vote, 27,624 votes for the NDC, whilst the NPP was below with 18,756 votes in the Gomoa West constituency, which has been taken over by the NDC once again. Right. So let's look at 2016, whether the NDC lost the Gomoa West seat to the NPP or they were able to maintain their steez, like the Gen Zs will say. So Gomoa West for the Central Region, Gomoa West.
But I must say the numbers are looking interesting this year concerning the turnout and everything. But let's see exactly what 2016 had happened in the elections for Gomoa West.
Yes, so interestingly, in the Gomoa West presidential election, the NPP, led by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, won that seat with 23,196 votes. 23,196 votes. Whilst the NDC, who won it in 2012, this time is getting 21,004. 21,004 votes. It means that there was a drop. And let's see if we can find the percentages here. So the NDC had only 46.83%, whilst the NPP jumped up to 51.79. Let's look at the percentages over here in 2012. So the NDC in 2012 is getting 55.58 votes.
I see that there.
Let's look at 2016. The NDC is getting 46.83. Now let's come back to 2012 and look at the NPP, 38.52%. But let's go back to 2016. You realize that they are getting 51.79%.
That's
a very huge jump. Yes, a very huge jump in the presidential elections results for the Gomoa West constituency. So let's still stay at
2020.
Yes, 2020. Let's go to 2020 Gomoa West. And in 2020, the NDC further dipped. Because you can see our graph. If you see our graph here, you realize that the differences were very huge.
Right.
Gomoa West and the NPP had 27,670 votes, whilst the NDC, far below it, 27,024. So there was a difference. Now let's look at the percentage. The Gomoa West in the Central Region, the NDC had the percentage of 49.25 of the total valid votes cast, whilst the NPP had 49.51%. But you realize that the NPP, even though they won, they dropped a bit in percentage compared to 2016. So in 2016, they are making 51.79, but in 2020, they are making 49.51 votes. So there was a drop, and so maybe it could have been predicted that there will be a loss in 2024, and interestingly, it happened in 2022. Yes.
It's rather a swap you see here. Yes. This is what we have concerning Gomoa West, but you realize that the swap has been quite massive with it. Well, first of all, the voter turnout, you realize that the numbers are going as high as 27,000 for both.
Yes.
And here in this provisional one that we have is in the 8,000s, and for the NDC a little over 11,000, which I believe is a jump for the NDC, but a huge loss for the NPP on that front.
Yes. So this year, one thing I think we would have to look out for later is the voter turnout. Now, as at the EC's last but one presser, they were talking about a 60% turnout. And if you go to the elections and you are getting around 60% turnout, it is something you must look at. There are a lot of conditions that contribute to such things. Voter apathy, people are tired. I mean, as of this morning, when
people are fed up, if you ask me,
Yes.
Because I think leading to the elections, we sent reporters on grounds just to find out exactly in our constituency watches, just to find out how anticipative Ghanaians are towards this election. You get a lot of people telling you that, oh, we're not going to vote, we're tired, a lot of lies in the system. And even the reports that came out, help me out.
Kodio report?
Yes, the Kodio report, and then the other one that mentioned Afrobarometer report that mentioned that Ghanaians aren't really looking at the policies to vote anymore. They're just looking at the
character. Yes, the character. And you see, manifesto even didn't feature at the top. It was somewhere below. And so this time, it meant that Ghanaians were fed up with the deception. So, in quotes, they had heard from political parties. They had received promises, and the promises hadn't been fulfilled. And so, what they wanted to look out for is that if I want to vote for you, are you truthful? If you made promises before I gave you power. Interestingly, both teams have been in office.
Power.
Yes, in power. And so, if I gave you the mandate, what did you do? What you said you would give me? You said you construct roads. You said you would build hospitals, infrastructure. Did you do it? And that shows you how credible you are. Did you just lie to me? Even when you were not able to do it, did you apologize? Did you give me the reason why you were not able to achieve that?
Did you even give me constructive feedback about
you
this?
See?
No.
Those are some of the things that influence voter decisions in the presidential election.
Earlier, we were speaking to Ben when he went to Ayawaso West Wogon. The feedback that he was giving us was that now the average Ghanaian voter is wiser. He's more intelligent. He's more aware of the voting procedure. And so you cannot just do any, kululu and then February and so to say of some sort on a lighter note. But you realize that when one individual assumably was bringing in a ballot box that had ballots in there, thumbprinted, the individuals themselves, the constituents themselves, had to the person and ask them, what is in this box? We want to see it. And when they check the boxes, they realize that it's not from the EC because they realize that there are some factors that the EC has made them aware that the legit ballot papers would have. But then those ones they didn't have. And so on grounds, they destroyed the ballots in preventing any chaos from happening. And that I think it's looking good for Ghanaians and the Ghanaian voter as it is now. So, it's really looking good.
So I think just to add up to what you said, when Sylvia went out and was filing her report, she spoke to one gentleman, an old man, not just a gentleman, an old man.
And gentle at heart, gentle at heart.
Yes, so what the man said is that this elections or elections in recent times for the Ghanaians is to tell the politician that, look, we give you the mandate, this time you cannot do anything, just anything with the mandate we give you. You cannot trick us, you cannot just take over the power and do whatever you want and come back and expect that we will vote for you. The Ghanaian voter is wise. We will show you the exit if you fail. We will show you that our thumb has the power to bring you to office and take you out of office. And so that is what has happened. You realize that initially it was just, this is my party, and so I'll vote for him. Now, the person says that this is my political party. I acknowledge that they have failed. Even though I don't want to vote for the other party, I won't go and vote. So that I don't just go and vote for my party, even though I know they are failing. And so these are some of the dynamics that are playing in. And so sometimes you realize that the votes will not increase so much. So this is what I am suspecting here. Now look at this. Gomwa West in 2020, 27,024 for the NDC. Now Gomwa West for the NDC in 2024, 11,998. In 2020, the NPP, Gomwa West, 27,670. Gomwa West in the provisional presidential report in 2024, 8,385. It means that most NPP people who said that this is our party, I love it, I'll vote for it in 2012, I'll vote for the NPP in 2016. In 2020, I'll vote. In 2024, they didn't go to vote. The NDC, some went to vote, but even that was not up to the 27,000 voters. And so they said, we are tired. Maybe the politicians are... And before elections today, you see videos of political party agents supporters going around to try to convince some people to vote. And some are hardened in their heart that they are not going to vote. And sometimes you see them trying to convince and they tell you that no matter what you tell me, I am not going to vote because I am tired of the politics that we have played so far.
For that, I do understand the average Ghanaian on taking such a stance, but I would also be quick to retrace our steps back to the colonial times where these privileges weren't in our rights, or these rights weren't afforded to us because one way or the other we were slaves, and we didn't get that opportunity to choose who our next leader becomes. And so if we've been given this very scarce and expensive right, I believe that every Ghanaian should and ought to go out to exercise the civic right, so that in choosing the next president and something isn't even going wrong, you have that bravado to say, I did make this choice, and for that reason I can change it, or I can make a change. You don't sit home and ask someone that you don't even know what their decision is or what their motive is to make that choice for you, and you, out of resentment, stay home, or out of disappointment, stay home and expect the country to get better, or just to be self-centered and say, I'm just living my life, I'm not looking at what the economy is. But the economy would inadvertently affect you as well. So let's revise this. I'm seeing the numbers are a bit low, but we hope that the next 4 years, the next electoral year, we would go out and exercise that civic rights, because it's very, very expensive. It was earned the hard way, and we shouldn't take it for granted.
Yes, and Grace, you know that one thing that we have as a problem as Ghanaians is that we do not have so much interest in politics. We've left politics for a group of people. And so you speak to somebody and the person says, me, politics, me, I don't do politics. Whether no matter who wins, I will eat. No matter, it is God that will take care of me. Yes, God will take care of all of us. But you see, we have to have interest in our politics, have deliberate interest in the people we want to lead us. Now, leaders must be chosen carefully. We don't just give the chance to anybody to lead us. And so from infancy, the training we must give to our people, because the leaders over there are a reflection of who we are as a people. And so who are we from infancy? Who are we as we grow? Who are we when we get power? And so we have to be deliberate about that. If we are deliberate about that, we wouldn't have to stay back when we have to choose leaders. We have proper leaders to choose from. And now, so some people say that the NPP and NDC are birds of the same feather. Yes, birds of a feather. Yes. So we are just alternating between two of the same product. And that is something that must not be the case. We should know that if I am changing for this should be a superior, what do we call it, product. This should be a superior kind of leadership I am aiming for. So Grace, I believe that we should be interested in our body politics, whether the church, whether the schools, whether every individual in Ghana must be interested in the development of leaders in Ghana.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with you, Joshua, on that front. Let's quickly go on to the other figures that we have. If production has Brekum East ready, you can project it, and Joshua, we can go to Brekum East to look at the factors that we have, the analysis that we can put together since 2012 on that front. But Brekum East, as I mentioned earlier, has some of the figures out for the presidential provisional results, and we're starting with the NPP that has now garnered 16,556 for Brekum East. 16,556, and the NDC is now looking at 20,093. The others that are also on the side are looking at 1,084, 1,080 for Brekum East. Production has it now. When they're ready, we would push it out. But Joshua, do we have the details? If not, we can just go to...
Yes, so we can move on to the next one. I think we would surely get Brekum East.
Right. Yes. Asin Central. We'll look at Asin Central now. Joshua is looking up the data for Asin Central. But the provisional results that we have as it is from Asin Central is looking at the presidential now. And the presidential results, the provisional presidential results, the NPP looking at 15,139, 15,139 votes. The NDC now at 16,011 votes. The vote counting is still ongoing, and so we're still waiting as to possible wins and losses on both sides of the floor. But we hope now that everything will just go on smoothly as projected, and the EC will continue to announce the results for the 2024 electoral year. But Joshua, you have the factors that we're looking for, whereas this constituency is concerned. Give us the details.
Yeah, so Asin Central in 2012 was blue for the NPP, and so in Asin Central, the NPP won 18,756 votes, whilst the NPP, let's see, got 13,302 votes. The NDC got 13,202 votes, whilst the NPP got 18,756 votes. So Asin Central in 2012 was blue. Let's look at Asin Central in 2016. Asin. So the Asin areas are very important areas. We have the Asin North, Asin Central, Asin South. So this time we are focusing on Asin Central. Now in 2016, Asin Central was blue again, Grace. In 2016, the Asin Central gave the NPP 18,368 votes.
Right.
18,368 votes. While they gave the NDC 10,618 votes.
That's
over 8,000, yes, over 8,000 difference. And that is quite interesting. So let's look at 2020 for Asin Central. Asin Central, who has been blue, which has been blue since 2012, Asin Central.
And even in 2020, you realize that
it's still blue.
It's still blue.
Yes, for the
with
NPP.
27,670 votes there,
Yes.
whereas the NDC looked at 27,024. If I stand to be corrected.
Yes, so I think our figures 21,159 for Asin Central and 12,650.
Joshua, hold that thought. We have Peter Tebri. Peter Tebri. Marche. It's say EC number Ababe can results now. Then they cost
yes, so now that radio, over PM I'm on here. What you will say? Everything happening for the that day. I won't be saying that the just for even Mpana almost now that over PM you see how I'm on 258 but no essential now that I'm not going to 92 now say that FPS about presidential now NPP and after 158 NPP mobile term that after the 92 no NPP presidential no NPP and 6,283 6,283 over no
Peter, show figures no na frey and back. It was figures now they might know, but confirm everything and then call us back. We'll come back to you, Joshua. You were on the details, and I see the figures were already highlighted there for Asin Central.
Yes, so Asin Central is a seat that was contested by Honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan in 2012 and 2016 before it was divided for the famous Asin North and other Asins to come off of. So you realize that Kennedy Japan had the influence there. In 2012, he won for the NPP 16,157, like we said, and NDC 13,202. Then the showdown man in 2012, 18,368.
Right.
He had taken over the seat over there. In 2020, he gave the NPP 21,159, whilst the NDC got 12,650 votes.
Right.
So the showdown man had been on the seat for a number of times, giving the NDC a showdown, giving the NDC a huge gap, and then in 2024, the Asin Central results are as you call them.
Yes. Now let's move all the way to Second D, and there are provisional results there. Joshua can look up the results, whereas 2012, 2016, and 2020 is concerned. But now let's go to the provisional results that we have for the parliamentary of Second D, and NPP is at this point looking at 11,084 votes in that constituency. The NDC has now gathered 14,558 votes, whereas that constituency is concerned. Joshua, do you have that details yet for Second D? But then in the meantime, we also have for Ayawaso Central, which from indications is provisional. Henry Korte of the NPP has garnered 23,345 votes, and Abdul Rauf Tubazu of the NDC is looking at 29,755 votes there. So we'll go back to Second D. And Joshua has the statistics.
Yes, Grace, interestingly, Second D has putted out Honorable Andre Japamesa. So he's one politician I sometimes
he has
enjoy.
A track record.
Yes, lawyer, contributes to national discourse, but a number of things worked against him, a lot of scandals and all those things that maybe we can look into later. Yes, but Andre Japamesa has been kicked out. Now in 2012, the NPP won the Second D seat, and they won it with 14,735 votes, whilst the NDC got 13,644. The margin wasn't so huge. Now in 2016, let's go to Second D in 2016. Second D.
2016.
Yes. For the parliamentary. That is for parliamentary, just like you call the parliamentary first.
Right.
Yes. So Second D or Second D. The NPP got 16,839 votes, whilst the NDC got 11,075. This time, the margin was huger than in 2012. So the NPP was growing in Second D.
What if in 2020 the differences were that big? I can see from the charts that the NDC had about 8 seats and the NPP 9 seats, but is it the same for 2020?
So in 2020, for the parliamentary in Second D or Second D, the NPP still won the seat with 17,529, whilst the NDC got 10,310, about 7,000 votes difference. Yes, so look at 2012. NPP 14,735. 2016 NPP 16,839. They increase again. Then in 2020, they add up 17,250. Yes. In 2016, NDC 11,075. Let's go to 2012 before we come to 2016. 13,644. 2016, NDC 11,000. They drop. In 2020, NDC 10,000 is dropping again. Yes. And so, but interestingly, in 2024, they have given the nod to the NDC. Even though the gap was wide since 2012, in 2024, they have changed hands. And so, I think a lot of things might have contributed. Ejapamesa was hopeful, so hopeful that as for his seat, it wasn't going anywhere. But interestingly, the people of Second D have shown him, has given him a little bit of showdown.
Right.
Yes.
Joshua, a little bit of showdown, we'll come back to that. But we have Obed Ano on the line. Hello, Obed, good morning.
Good morning.
Obed, describe the environment that you are in right now. What is going on there?
Well, it's been all stressful and stressful and stressful since yesterday, and even after the voting process ended, we came to the coalition center here in New Garden South around 7 p.m. and we've been here since then to date. The EC is not done with the collation of the results. So we are all here waiting. You can see stress on the faces of even the security personnel who are here, party agents, journalists, everyone is tired. However, the process has been very, very, very slow. Very, very slow. We don't know when they will be done with the collation for the results to be declared. So we're still waiting. However, some few constituencies in this state region are done with the coalition and results have been declared, certified results declared by the Electoral Commission. So we move to some constituencies. The first result that we have here is from the Upper West Section. We have Upper West Section certified results here. With the parliamentary election, the NPP candidate, Frederick Obenadom, who is the incumbent MP, had 15,711 votes. The NDC candidate, Emmanuel Dra, had 22,769 votes. The rejected ballots were 370. So the total vote cast, 38,840. So clearly, the NDC candidate, Emmanuel Dra, had snatched the seat from the NPP in Upper West Section. If you look at the presidential results, but Dr. Mahmoud Baumia had 13,612, and John Dramani Mahama of the NDC had 23,380. Then you go to Equatorial South, certified results from Equatorial South, parliamentary. Eric Yabua Apiedu, who succeeded Obi Amwa, had 15,304 votes. The NDC's candidate, Laurentia Adjoa-Juwonu, who is contesting this election for the second time, had 15,438 votes. So it means the NDC has snatched the seat from the NPP in the South constituency. When you move to Equatorial West, certified results, presidential, NPP had 16,322. Then former President John Dramani Mahama of the NDC had 7,630 in the Tiwa West. In the parliamentary, the NPP candidate, Lawrence Koko Asante, had 16,395. Then Dr. Oposopia Dennis Owusu of NDC had 8,061. The last one, Tiwa West Presidential, Dr. Baumia had 17,072. Then John Dramani Mahama of the NDC had 9,096. So that is the Tiwa West for you. So far, I think these are the few results that have come in from the Eastern region. About 4 constituencies declared so far.
Right. There are some constituencies that we've been to that we realize that the collating room has been locked in anticipation of Electoral Commission officials. And you did mention in your earlier submission that the process has been slow. Do you know of any reason why this is the case?
Essentially, New Garden South, I think, has the largest polling station in the entire region. So the process has been, slow, as I said earlier. And the fact that the polling stations are many, that's the more reason why it is taking so long a time for us to get to the final point of coalition. However, the EC has been meticulous. They are being careful. They are ensuring that all the dots and the I's are crossed so that the results will be reflective of what has been recorded in the polling stations so that there will not be any error. So basically, these are the main reasons why I think this process has been very slow.
But let me ask you this, with regards to the provisional results that you've seen so far, we've been analyzing the seats, whereas it pertains to the minority, or now let me just say the NDC and the NPP, since 2012 to now. The votes that have been accumulated so far, where do you see for the presidentials, which of these two parties do you see attaining the win?
I mean, clearly, when you look at the results that are coming in, the NDC's candidate, John Dramani Mahama, is doing very, very well in most of the constituencies. In New Dublin South here, which is a typical NPP, constituency that they used to win. Polling stations, that's for several decades, NDC presidential candidate has never won. He won in some of the polling stations. And it is reflective of most of the results from other constituencies that are also coming in. And so it seems to suggest that the NDC has performed well even in both parliamentary and presidential elections. I mean, they've won some of the seats that we never expected them to win. So, but we'll be waiting for the results or the declaration. We have 33 constituencies here in the Eastern region, and so far, about 4 or 5 have been declared. We're waiting for the rest to be declared.
Right. Thank you so much from the Eastern region. We're grateful for the details. When time goes on, we'll come back to you for the EC declaration.
Thank you very much.
Right. So, Joshua, that is the information that we have from the Eastern region so far. But now let's just go back to the next region, Ayawaso Central, to get the data as it pertains to the votes we had in the years 2012, 16, 20, all the way to now.
Yes, so in 2012, Ayawaso Central gave the NPP a win, 33,074 votes, whilst he gave NDC 32,439 votes, fiercely contested. I mean, the gap wasn't that much.
I mean, looking at the bar, it's just so close, painstakingly close, that you can barely see the limits. But the numbers make the difference.
Yes, just a few numbers. And so let's look at the percentages they represented. And that is in 2012. Okay, so maybe we can look at the percentages later. Now, let's look at some history behind Ayawaso Central. And in 1992, we know that it was only the National Democratic Congress that contested for elections there. And Said Sene of the National Democratic Congress won that seat. In 1996, 2000, 2002, up to 2008, Sheikh Ibrahim Kujo Kwe. So this is Sheikh I.C. Kwe, the popular Sheikh I.C. Kwe, was the member of parliament for the Ayawaso Central constituency on behalf of the New Patriotic Party. Very popular I.C. Kwe. And then Henry Quartey took over 2012, 2015. Henry Quartey is currently the Minister of Interior.
Right.
I mean, he was once the Greater Accra Regional Minister, and we can attest to the transformation he was bringing to the Greater Accra region. It was all over the place. And not just all over the place to maybe please his paymasters. He was one minister that people were saying that even after his government had exited power, he should be made a minister in any other government.
Because of the works he
was doing. It was, and Henry Quartey was performing so well. So in 2012, the NPP, like we said, beat the NDC. In 2016, at Ayawaso Central, the NPP increased their margin, and so the NPP got 33,726, whilst the NDC, I think my Ayawaso in 2016 has run away from me, Grace.
So you can quickly
I can go back to
on that front.
Yes, Ayawaso wants to run away, but I wouldn't allow it. Ayawaso Central is back to me, and in 2016, like we are comparing, Ayawaso Central gave the NPP 33,762. And so I think we will come back to Ayawaso Central because my map says. So let's go to 2020 and see. In 2020, Ayawaso Central, the NDC got 33,003 votes. That is Henry Quartey represented the NPP, and in the NDC in the same 2020 got 28,360 votes in Ayawaso Central.
Right.
And so Henry, we are looking at what 2024 would be. I think we can call on the 2024 results again for Ayawaso Central.
Yes, for 2024, you realize that the results are quite exceptional for Ayawaso Central. And in here, it's been reflected. I'll bring you the details. But as Sembi continues, I realize that Mante is on her seat already, and so would continue to give you the details as and when. But we have a few minutes before we hand over to the next team, in which Kwabena Mante will be very instrumental. He's already taken his seat, and we'll take a look at what we have here as well. But let's look at the data as you've presented. Now, the results that we're having is a bit shortcoming, so we'll look on to production for the updates that would be coming soon. Until then, Joshua, we're analyzing these details from Ayawaso Central, and you've already spoken on what we have here, whereas the NDC just cleared everything.
But I find it interesting that Henry Cotti, who has been doing so well, unfortunately, in 2024, Ayawaso Central, he is being booted out.
He's been booted out. You know, now we've already established that constituents aren't looking at policies anymore. They're looking at the persons. Well, you can make a case for Henry because he's been quite advantageous and effective in the constituency, but it's up to the constituents.
Well,
in their own right,
so Grace, something happened in Henry Cotti indicated that when he was doing his massive cleanups inside Accra and all those things, he faced opposition even from within. And so maybe that is also understandable.
Probably.
I mean, you might have stepped on the toes of people even though you wanted to do the right thing. So I think it could have contributed to his loss. Yes, Grace.
If he wanted to do the right thing, he'll be paid in kind by God, I'm sure. But let's take a look at other parliamentary seats that we have. The updates are still coming. Let me give you Amenfi West, the presidential for Amenfi West here. And I understand before we go to Amenfi West, Peter Tebri. Peter, good morning. Omini Amache. Peter, Adiache, Ahumachi. Results need to say, oh.
Yeah, that's it. Said that you can move on to Total police station, 168. The banner, presidential now. Total validated entries, 65. Aka, I said never born. Aka 103. FPP, 6,283. NDC, 9,992. Kwame Bebiako, 215. Aprapanto, 23. Boom, 54. Total voters are 17,115. Rejected ballot 453. Local parliamentary so entrance no 92. Yet to enter 76. FPP Ignatius Akwesi Asifa on 11,064. NDC Honorable Dr. Eric Apple on 13,459. Rejected ballot 269. Total vote cast 24,792. Not to say, I'm a
Peter, ansana ye ba no na ye ne other correspondence din komona obetie free bia no say yato collation center ni muma ye koye train EC official ebi bo so amayate ase say counting na ye slow kakra enkonanim because e hoso pa wo ho wo Amenfi West no collation ne kosen.
Yeah, that's it. IDC, I'm on the code, which is almost the same now, most of the and almost now, you're going to somewhere immediate past presiding member or Mr.
Yo.
Many people with DNT about IDC, I'm on the code, one and two ways, or would be, I would say that, Minia, they're my Pent TV show. So, and again, national to do the Niagara Mutual and show the channel from the big kind. And the city driver, so I am at the free Papa. Share a rare Papa. And I see what the jail and to car in Yamabono. But when you are represented, where are you before all the two? You vote and then I might think you a great time for us. I did not see anyone of me as I can look at. Or try my electoral commission at the official year. Now, so, yeah, I can't do it. And what I have grown and my head not so of me. Now, in so on, I let a man of someone. What do you try to do? What do you try to say? I bring you a man of quote. Be not so receptive, you put them, you know, more, it's no more joke, you know. Now, I will say, I'm on the phone at all. Or no one in our place, you're not the one who's on the mountain. Anything handed to Vanna, a brother. I put him here, with you. I don't know how much I'm not going to get it. Barbara, and put him here. A home from my Ama, opposition, no pay. I can't tell them the air down. Let us do it. I don't know if I'm not ready to get out of it. Oh, be around. For what I'm going to do. Just to me, that's to me, and before that. That's me, and before that. We will say, Osha, you see, Mark, in a car here. Now, so Osha, in a multi-jersey, and that is a good jersey to say, if we say, I am going to say, other events, other opponents, you know. I put you something now, overcatch your for celebrating for power, you and my favorite, you might pretty as you go, about to do.
Peter, I said you lose the war, so we'll get it or feedback nebaka. There you call us Peter Tebri from Amenfi, and he has been giving us the details from those grounds. Joshua, you were working on Amenfi West as well, so
yes.
Let's get the statistics as reported over the years,
yes.
2012, 2016
yes.
through to 2020.
Yes, so our reporter Peter presented us results from the Amenfi West constituency. So I had to quickly rush to our dashboard and get details from Amenfi West from 2012 to 2020. And it's been interesting. In 2012, the NDC won the Amenfi West seat with 26,435 votes. 26,435 votes for NDC in Amenfi. And the NPP got 16,829 votes. 16,829 votes. That is for the parliamentary elections.
Right.
Yes. In 2016, in Amenfi, the NDC won again. Amenfi West, 23,673. 23,673. And in 2016, the NPP in Amenfi West got 17,336. Now let's go to 2020 for the same Amenfi West. The NDC won by 30,986 votes. 30,986 votes, whilst the NPP got 28,366. I think we can look at the presidential for Amenfi West as well. Now, in 2012, in Amenfi West, for presidential, the NDC got 26,435. It means that they gave the NDC both the parliamentary and the presidential in 2012, yes. And in the NPP got just around 16,184 for presidential, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now, in 2016, in Amenfi West, the NDC won by 23,673, whilst the NPP got 17,309. Then in 2020, in Amenfi West, the NDC won by a huge margin of 34,219, whilst the NPP got 34,000. NPP got, 23,847 votes. And so that is Amenfi West for the presidential and parliamentary. We can look at the presidential percentage changes if we have them. And so, yes, the NDC in 2012 got 59.05%. whilst in 2016, they got the percentage of 57.17, and in 2020, they got 58.40%. And so let's look at the NPP also from 2012, 37 point. So it's been a while I used mine highlighter. So the NPP got 37. Let's see. Okay. So the NPP got 37.07. And then in 2016, the NPP got 41.45. I think it's an increase, yes, and there's an increase. And in 2020, 40.54, they decreased. And so that has been Amenfi West since 2012 for their parliamentary and presidential elections. Yes.
Right. It's just substantial ones. Things are still coming in. Some results are still coming in. I told you about the other statistics that we have. I realized that there are some seats that have been won by the NDC so far. That update has been put in the group. We'll bring them to you as and when. The NPP is also winning some seats. We brought you the statistics from the Church of Pentecost website on here. Please do well to stay and continue following. Your feedback is very influential to us. We are very appreciative of that, so keep them coming, and we would be happy to acknowledge them as well. Joshua, I think we can go on to other presidential seats and then look at them, the other constituencies.
So what I want to do is, I want us to maybe look at the Amenfi West parliamentary constituencies over the year, so that we can better appreciate who and who has been occupying the seats from time to time. And so Amenfi West, we can just look at them and then tell our viewers who and who be beyond the numbers, who and who have been their members of parliament. And so in 1992, Amenfi West was not having a member of parliament. It wasn't created. In 1996, Abraham Kofi Asante of the National Democratic Congress won. 2003, in Amenfi, Agnes Sonfo of the NPP won. And then 2004, Joanna Jetua of National Democratic Congress, the NDC. In 2015, Eric Affo of the National Democratic Congress are the members of parliament who were sworn in to take over in Amenfi West, I should say.
Right. A whole lot of details are coming in. I understand that the Honorable Theresa Ladi Awuni, incumbent MP, is preparing for her announcement at the Okaikwe North Constituency Coalition Center. We'll get you the details as and when they come up. But these are confirmed seats for the NDC now as we speak. Confirmed seats by the EC. The Volta region with 18, Oti 9, Upper East 15, Upper West 11, Savannah region 7, Western region 15, Ashanti region 5, Northern region 11, Western North 6, Bono 5, Bono East 5, the Central region 10 seats, Ahafo 4 seats, Greater Accra 16 seats, Northeast is looking at 4 seats, the Eastern region is also looking at 8 seats so far that has been accumulated by the NDC, and a total of 149. These are the statistics that we have from the National Democratic Congress. The NPP would also fall through soon. When it does, would be more than happy to give you the details as well. Now let's look at the presidential and parliamentary election result for Achim Oda, or as others will say, Akim Oda constituency in the Eastern region. Mahmoud Baumia is looking at 70,072 votes, 17,072 votes. Daniel Augustine Latte is looking at 11 votes. Christian Kwabena Andrews, 46 votes. Kofi Akbalu is looking at 6 votes. Mohammed Frimpong got 6 votes. Nana Akosua Frimpong, 26 votes. John Dramani Mahama also garnered 9,096 votes. Hassan Abdullahi Ayariga was looking at 20 votes. Kofi Kranting 2 votes. George Chumberma Edu is looking at 5, and Nana Kwame Bediako 277. Alan John Chermatin is looking at 59, and rejected ballots here are 393 votes, as well as the total vote cast being 27,009 votes. Maybe we want to go to the website of the Church of Pentecost and see the updates that we have there so far. Refreshing it, we have some few updates on there. The provisional results for all the parliamentary and constituencies that we looked at right here. Joshua, what are we seeing here?
Yeah, so as at 6:19 this morning, when
been updated.
Yes, when our website was updated, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is doing 39,962 votes, which is 43.95 of the collated votes so far. And let us indicate that these are not the final results from the Electoral Commission. These are provisional results we have gathered, some from the constituency coalition centers and some from, while His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, 50,966, representing 56.05%.
Right, Joshua, hold that thought there. We have Josephine from Mokaikwe on the line. Josephine, good morning, and describe exactly where you are and give us the information you have on grounds. Josephine, can you hear me? Otemenka, Josephine. Aha. Anope Trey and baby potty and or Kaikwe any dear Kosovo.
And should be I know that's now, there a dominant of the Ocho Station, I don't go after not constituency happy. And some bomb what they are, one would be a result of Matakan Rabo Matena, only to Akata, Fana, almost declared there. As soon as I said, Sena is the one half, and the drum to the Cabo Nana. This is actually the now I say or say our customer or then if you say that we will see more Hataya, okay, I will go to another to sell, only don't to sell to you know. I almost there, we are one of the Peter Attitude, you say that to my brother, we are man on the one more so far, they get the Senate one. One would you have to see or Hataya and not the time. The third is Emma, Emma NPC, I'm at the fully there. The city and running now, you know, now, so they are gathering my NPC, I'm at the fully there. I know I am actually getting that idea. I did city and running now with them, I say, I'm not here. What I know by a woman now, one more ton of my then I'm here to sell, you know, about every amount. So, you know, the year every year, you better tell me now, we'll not about the man. And when they get him, what I say is Ghana police service, immigration police, only to a happy young man. I'm a woman, but the I am a kind man. Woman would I think this guy say, I'm out for 2 hours, one more better, one mirror. Now, they can't say what would you class out the never had. One way to go for an hour the whole time. They say I go down to and I airport to have to buy or anything I'm going to have.
Okay, inti results na ban na trese okoboy na sisia eko konanima na se another results natural sa church mu mai.
Okay, other results na o ha say media na na ma do ya no e no ye parliamentary candidate e wo ha say ya ushoma ye amete kabo media na ke dey no akọ e dia ma na ama fu ni ade wo ha say papa nya de ke to the airport to have them to say na say omoga ke dia go na ye mu ma pe ni after me so ba ka ti ko no ya o di nkuni e wo ha say.
Josephine, ye other correspondents didn't come on now. Ebi beka chro say coalition na is slow. Ebi mo say chese ya lucky coalition set an krama. Omo to mean inside and shasi and collate. Send ya okasano a trust coalition as shasi that but me pesa me busa ama kaina air kosuno. Momo ho or kai kwe ho no air kosing.
Oh, I had a couple for Roma, centers in Naba, you know, and then come on. I have said it is not fine, not one more dog farm, and half much the Sokana. How much may go for if you are both center now, if you are for 9 and 9 years, I'm up to throw on this. And the result is or my sentence, yeah, and then the result is for it is NPP, and you put a day aside, one more at the one now, my master machine. The NPP, and you put the 6 and after 1, and also almost the time we have to know my boy area machine. Oh, we are the center in the fire, no my president, the down, normally, and I'm going to so for extra. And you know, and the photo thought, if you have found it. But I say, yeah, for 2 or 3 times, I'm one thing, I'm trying to overwhelm. And I never know, actually, one more day, and shiny, and the area to go 1 month. Not any other get to our once a year. Now, we're going to make 4 and so move up for and show. We soon got up for when we're moving once a year now. We one and after now, so I'm going to be able to much. And I will be answered and cut up by one more time, better.
Uncle, so okay, Josephine, that's it, Bebre. Talk of Okaikwe North. Let me give you the statistics, the provisional results that we have in pen and in writing as of now. So the Okaikwe North constituency has, for the parliamentary results, Honorable Theresa Ladi Awuni with 28,351 votes, equivalent to 57.32%. There's also Nana Amma Dokia, who gathered 20,628 votes, equivalent to 41.71%. The margin here is 7,723 votes, which is a massive increase from the 2,039 margin in 2020. I think we'll come back to that on the bar here. President's results, looking at the presidential results that we put together, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama garnered 27,710 votes, and for the NPP 18,789 votes with a 10,921 votes margin there. But Joshua, you can put it in better perspective for these analysis. Let's take a look at it.
Okaikwe North is an interesting constituency, and so let me give you the MPs who have occupied that seat from 1992. Sheriff E. Ni Otu Dodu, National Democratic Congress. In 1996 and 2000, Joseph Darko Mensah of the New Patriotic Party won that seat. Elizabeth Kwacho Tawia Saki, 2004 to 2012. She occupied that seat for the NPP. Then 2016, Inusa Fuseini won it for the New Patriotic Party. Now 2020, Theresa Ladi Awuni won it for the National Democratic Congress. And that was some of the surprises that we witnessed in the 2020 election. Right. Because Inusa Fuseini, fine gentleman, was very contributive in Parliament, outside Parliament. You see him on morning shows making cognitive, what do we call it, input, submissions and all that. But all of a sudden, in 2020, Theresa Ladi Awuni appears on the scene and kicks him out of Parliament, has occupied the seat. In 2024 also, we are hearing that Theresa Ladi Awuni has won against Ama Dokua. So it's interesting. It's an interesting seat. Now let's look at what happened in 2012 at the Okaikwe North constituency. And so, like we rightly said, the Okaikwe North gave the NPP 27,268 votes in 2012. Whilst they gave the NDC 25,357. In 2016, Okaikwe North gave the NPP 28,083 votes. 28,083 votes. And they gave the NDC 23,617 votes. Yes, that is in 2016. In 2020, they gave the NPP 27,242, and that was when Husseini Issa was facing Theresa Ladia Wuni, who got 29,281 on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party.
Right.
So we can also look at this is for the parliamentary, we can look at the presidential in the because you called out the presidential results in 2012 to 2020, I should say. Okankwe North, for presidential, they gave the NPP 28,094 votes, whilst giving the NDC 25,357 votes. Yes, that's for the presidential in Okankwe North. And in Okankwe North in 2016, let's check Okankwe North in 2016. Okankwe North. So you realize that in 2012, the presidential and parliamentary vote matched. And same has happened in 2016 for Okankwe North.
Right.
The presidential, the NPP got 28,639, whilst the NDC got 23,617. Now let's go to 2020. In 2020, Okankwe North, yes, Okankwe North, yes, 2020. 2020, I want the map to settle. Then 28,942 for the NDC, and then the NPP got 29,716. So the NDC won. Theresa Ladia Wuni won, whilst His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Okay, so this is what happened in 2020. Whilst the NDC won for the parliamentary, the NPP won for the presidential in Okankwe North. Yes.
I can see. So those have been the details that Election Watch has been serving you so far, whereas the results, the provisional results, both parliamentary and presidentials, have been coming forth, is serving you so far. But now we'll quickly cross over to the next team that is taking you on. Kwabena Mante is in his seat and would go for a short breather. I am Grace Bachman. I've been doing this with Joshua Hazel Kwabena, and we'll quickly go on to the next team after this break. Please don't go anywhere. We're still waiting on the Electoral Commission for the final results of this election. So don't go anywhere. The results will be in, and when they come, we will be right there with you to give you the very, very last vote to the net. Joshua, you have a sign-off word?
I think those are that we are just waiting for the Electoral Commission. We are still calling on party agents, party supporters to be peaceful. Let the EC do their work. Just be vigilant. Make sure nothing untoward happen, and then let us have a peaceful Ghana. Let's have a peaceful Ghana indeed. So quickly, we'll sign out for this segment, and then the next team takes over. Please don't go anywhere.
This November 2024, all eyes are set on Ghana's most anticipated event, the national elections.
As the race heats up, stay connected to the voice you can trust.
For in-depth analysis, live updates, and expert commentary, look no further.
We're bringing you every angle, every insight, and every breaking story.
On December 7th, as Ghana heads to the polls, we will be right there with you.
From the first vote cast to the final results.
And as we welcome Ghana's new leader, join us here on Election Watch for diplomacy in our inaugural celebration.
Witnessing history live on Pent TV, your #1 Christian TV station.
So watch us live on Pent TV. Tune in on Pent Radio and join in the conversation as we stream live on all our social media platforms.
This election season, trust Pent TV for coverage that informs, and inspires on Election Watch. For all the news, the analysis, the results, and the swearing in, only on Pent TV. Pent TV, it's all about Jesus.
Tioti engumani fo ni abefo a wonwinwin wonadwene de dwene omayi hu ne wo heo monsore waka adisuamu akrashefo ne mranifo a wode mrabo omayi hu bra ne wo heo monsore waka ye beyo breguo aniwo ni owo de adabraka mesi musuakuo ni amanyokuo ni akuakuo ahodo a yede chichiri kro ne wo heo monsore waka yaseba kwidi fatana kunu ne mamanya kwa anuase timesra mi biso why na ejina brane so obeko atu dream proya ne katase hyase se ya fa no kura kwa ya to de da ebedane amachire ya ne ebehunu amane se okoda na odwenwine sansemi hu amane nya wodadwene huo
Good morning and welcome. This is our own special coverage, that is Pent Media Center's special coverage of the 2024 Presidential and Parliamentary Elections. And we thank Joshua and also Grace for the analysis they've been taking us through, trying to also update us on what is happening across the country. You would know that we started this exercise somewhere 6 a.m. Yesterday, and it's been that way throughout. At a point, we go on a break, bring you some recess here and there, but we have tried our best to update you on whatever is happening in Ghana. We assured you that it will be fair, it will be balanced, it will be inspiring, and I want to believe that we are doing just that. We've seen some of the comments you are posting on our Facebook platforms. We appreciate it. Let's hear from you. Continue to send those messages through. You can keep liking and sharing social media platforms to all your friends, family, and you can assure them and tell them that they have to be watching Pent TV, because here we will tell you exactly as it is happening, the confirmed results. I know as at now is really about the results, and that's why we are doing our best to update you on the results from the collation centers and also matching it against 2020, especially what happened, and that's what we've been doing. So I'm inviting you to join us in this conversation on Facebook again, Pent TV GH, on the Church of Pentecost Facebook platform as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can also leave those comments there. We'll be very, very happy to read them out at a point. Again, welcome to a special coverage. I am Kwabna Mante. Very soon, Nana Kusia Charapido will join me, and I'm sure we'll have a very smooth conversation. And I pay your dasi a day action. Me share me time media 15 minutes now about 7. And yes, Sunday, me himself me kwaso already. And also Ghana onsen sem edi edi hon komo ewa ha intino. Ya be koswa amamo abit na about one and run shasi 7. And so live broadcast nankasan 6 a.m. and ya shasi or Pent TV ha. Ya boy home dia the whole of enra anadwene mu nyina anape so ye toa so sa nia ye ne se ye hwe results like e collation centers ni nyina eba no ye hwe ni nyina na afi hwe 2020 quickly nia esisi ye especially in 2020 ni ye nyina ye hu how eko na yetimi edi etu ifo announcements in the stories they bebre ni ye say ekudam bebre na eluzo seats ni nyina mu no ye confirmed for commissioner. So far, figures are the 2 January. But for Casemuni, my friend say they are provisional results. It's answer say electoral commission so be certified now. No, so then the pen a shots any who says here. But most often, na difference is a bimuno share any be brisa because you know, so political parties ni na enya one copy of the pink sheet results no so am I reps this what grounds no as it was being announced and as when it is announced on grounds at the collation centers or at the polling centers, they send the figures over to us. Into any guso share do. Any votes ni any into who percentages be men conclude say na we afa ye ko yenim kakra. Into share no wa share total votes abano and sana wo dia share numbers no eguso a receive. Ni ametimi aka ne say collation centers ni bebre na no enra no delays be mu. Ebi supporters in some company, EC officials ni bi emfanko. Ebi so yesi amount 4% almost snatch ballot papers. Confusion in timi wase enti delays bebre ebemu. Ni ewo ne say ye to aba ni wie a ne ye kenkan ewo polling station ne ye bobot e we enra ye bobo bebre kire mo hyesu eyi bi kire mo na ye de sa pink sheet ni ballot papers ni nyina ehye box nim ama ye de ko collation center what constituency hono na constituency hono ni etimi kan ni nyina biom ekeka police stations ni nyina bom na afa ye hu se ampa asimesi we eba MP na ono na afa na afa presidential no eno no ye de akosoro akọ regional level na afa ye de akọ national level na ma chairperson of the electoral commission Jane Mensah so ensa akebi nti ye hwem pa dia Jane Mensah sisi apa ebetimi aka so ono on share dance and receive bebresa ewo collation center hono ehwa na eguso edi ho nkobo nti ye ko yenim no ye nuanom ye be frɛ omo na eni omo di nkomo na omo ma ye hu nia eko ene nia eba nia eko ene nia eba eno ɛne yɛpɛsi ekyirikyiri mu ne animu nyinaa ɛnante mu nti anape wa sorry na Sunday a siesie hu esan sɛ asɔre yɛbɛkɔ akɔda Nyankopɔn ase sɛ asomdwie aba ɛwɔ mu sɛ ɛdura reports kakra ba yɛ ni anje ba ko mienu gunshot wa ha we simentem ho ase we bu we asogyafoɔ ne civilians wɔn interactions bi but large scale deɛ yɛbɛtumi aka sɛ asomdwie nti yɛbɛda Nyankopɔn ase so sɛ bibia akɔ kama na yɛkɔ yɛnim no ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtu yɛ ho fo ɛwɔ nneɛma bebree ho anapɛ before a mɛhyɛ aseɛ koraa ne me colleagues ne bi akasakasa ne yɛde analysis kakra abrɛm no yɛnkɔ ɛyɛ Ghana Police Service anapɛ mpɛ sɛ yɛkɔkɔ pages wei bi so ne yɛhwɛ sɛ updates kakra ɛwɔ hɔ a Ghana Police Service wɔn so ɛtaa ɛbaayɛ ɛyɛ ɛnura the press statement kakra baayɛ na wɔn kyerɛ yɛn so wei ɛkosi nti anapɛ ni a mekɔ Ghana Police Service wɔn Facebook page a na kyerɛ sɛ ɛnura updates na ɛna ɛwɔ hɔ no ɛnura updates na ɛwɔ hɔ last one I'm say ɛbaayɛ from the Ghana Police Service 8 hours ago no wɔn say Ghana Police Service arrest 4 suspects in connection with a shooting incident at Ewutu Senya East constituency in the Central Region. The suspects are Awudu Yakubum, Kwabena Issa, Hakim Bawa, and Isaka Mashul. 1 AK-47 rifle and 69 rounds of ammunition has been retrieved from the suspects. The injured victim is currently receiving medical care while the body of the deceased is taken to the morgue for preservation and autopsy. Meanwhile, the 4 suspects are currently in custody assisting in police investigations. Enra Ewutu Senya yetete se amanfo bi abobo botuo ama obi nipa baako efim baako so nyame adom emfim de na nso ne oye seriously injured ono so ewo hospital. The police for they have been acting swiftly. Womote ye na ja omo the information to dwa se yehwehwe abranti a wo yes and ti anape information aba ne se suspects no at 9 ena ya chi omo amene o kase wo mo boa na nhwemu ekoso ne hu nia ekobaaye enti no wo so anape tu hofo ne hu se news bi ba na we ni nyehu bi ba na anko yi ama whatever you think about it ehu hia say we hear everything within the limits of the law and yes sir a police for eno obedi anape eno na womo ede aba afi so National Peace Council womo so issue statements bebrea anape me person me kon ma hwe said latest bia wo hono no na womo so ede aba National Peace Council womo so call Facebook page 6 hours ago womo so release a statement womo de 6 hours ago, DNA is related to Ewutu Senya case. Yeah, Makahuwa Semi. My main kind kakra say the National Peace Council, the West Africa Network for Peace Building, and other partners in the election situation room are aware of the confirmed arrest of 4 persons by the Ghana Police Service this evening. Since Obu release way and re enumerate in connection with a shooting incident at Ewutu Senya East constituency, which led to the death of 1 person and the injury of another. Well, the worrying incident comes just hours after another shooting and tragic loss of life in Nyankpala, in addition to reports of electoral violence in other locations across Ghana. The National Peace Council once again decries the killing and injury of any persons during the elections. We express our sympathy to the families and local community in Ewutu Senya East and in other locations affected by unfortunate and regrettable electoral violence. The National Peace Council calls on all political actors to restrain themselves from the use of firearms in resolving conflicts. The National Peace Council is currently engaging relevant stakeholders regarding this sad incident and urges the people of Ewutu Senya East constituency and the general public to remain calm. Into way and a last update a National Peace Council at the buyer. One much less a woman or say a police for no achiche a man for 4. Now so yeah. say elections amount for ebewu. Now, apart from a wutu senya KCAC and omo boss so say nyang palaso report by say nipa baako or no so ye bonu tu amasisi aye ka say onka atiasefo ehu biom. Afi electoral violence is kakra record ni nyina no wo say oma taking note of all these things. Na wo mo pese wo to Ghana fo nyina fo. Say yenhwe ye na ye conduct ye hu ye papa wo mo say wo mo de yakoso the call ema ebusuafo a wo mo ahwere wo mo adehye ebra ye to abe anape Ghana National Peace Council wo mo so update eda wo mo social media Facebook platform me de ebremo eno no enti this morning Nana Akosua Achara join me. Yedin Komono Ebetwa, so they are share results, maybe, and some of these issues we are picking them up this morning. If you're watching us, it's good to be here. But Nana is also around, so as Nana is here, there, I'll be doing the English more or less. I sometimes try and be bilingual, and then I'll leave the Nana to handle her own language. So Nana, you're welcome this morning. Yes, and yes. Right, so the Peace Council already, I've read a statement, that of the Ghana Police Service as well. Unfortunately, we recorded a few shooting incidents and a bit of violence, especially last night during the coalition period. It's not something we were hoping to experience, but this is really what happened.
Kwabna ahomete unse free enra ana free say on mine pers ye beto abanyina enkankan ne yenoma ye nsem twerofo a Pent Media Center ene ye da ana ye butu a ye som no de rubo ni nyina ne se asumdue de kwabna atumi adinim nanso so watimi ne wakamen ketenkete se bi no we nya de edikan a wo man Ghana beto aba ya tese bibi sa afri aba beto fon enta yade a ne enim say yeden la Ghana ha na yete no kwalaboni wom kwalaboni bi wom pa chese wo mo do wo nsa be fiti ne ma kakra ma chese yate tweka ni kitikiti ni pitipiti ye kakra nanso so well the eda nyankopon asede say oman mu ni nyina asudwe oman bi po ha ye to aba manfo ntimi mpie ade a chimpo wo ntimi mpie ba de a chi ye adwuma ye nam krom ye nam ye montene so kitikiti ni de kakra beba esanse eden a obi nti obi ase eno so na maye nipa so obi nti obi ase na maye nipa enti no eden a kakra mu de ye bete nanso so ye bode Russia wo mo say wa obema sayo na hia wo na wo de ne magia ata wani ase ebe yiro ho sachireme na abro so no emra wo krom ha sei oman ne mamra ne wunya e ka ba wenye ya prosifo so wo pechi a ye ne o kenye ye enti no ebinum saa no a emra nya wo mo na emra ne wo mo edi ebinum so afa ho ahwere wo mo nkwa wo mo saa so nyankopon fa wo mo kra ensie so still election watch Pent TV so election 2024 so kwabna ye begu so na mo asomdwe ne de bekoso abo ho da rose ya to awie no ye nkoso ana nkakra ye mfa nkokos kopem se ye beso mampani foforo nsa waso afena mu na waso ai se obedi o my Ghana nim efri the year 2025 afimpinu eni aduonu enu.
We per the results that we received through last night, this morning, quite a number of surprises happening. I've seen some of our viewers sending messages. They want to see which party is leading in Parliament. Obviously, because of the interest with the current Parliament, you know, we have a hung Parliament. So people want to know whether the next Parliament will be different. We will get to that point. I need to say that we are trying our best also to get the results from the coalition centers. Our correspondents and our reps are at most of these centers. However, coalition is still ongoing. I know there are some figures out there which are provisional, but we don't want to jump the gun. We want to make sure that what comes from the coalition centers are what we are able to provide you. So hopefully soon we will start giving you a fair idea in terms of the parliamentary to how many seats are going to this side. I mean, how many seats are going to be blue and how many seats are going to be green. But for now, just stay updated. We'll keep bringing them up one after the other for you to have a fair idea of how it looks like. This morning, we will go through a few of the provisional results we still have. But there's one that is also provisional, which appears to be a complete set of results in the Greater Accra region that, Nana, I would want us to start with. And this has to do with Ablekuma Central. Let me stress that these are all provisional until we finally confirm them. So these are provisional results. Take note of that, provisional results. Let me quickly pick that up. Amenfi West is here, but the provisional results from Ayawaso Central provisional results, and we're just going to focus on the NPP candidate and the NDC candidate. Now, if you go to Ayawaso Central, that is around Circle, but on the right side. So the Kwame Nkrumah interchange is in the middle. On the left side of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange is Korle Klote constituency. On the right side, the Ring Road, right side like this, Tipto Lane, to Caprice area, Kukumlimli and the rest. Yes, that is Ayawaso Central constituency. The incumbent MP is the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, who is now the Interior Minister, Henry Korte. He's the incumbent MP. And like I said, these are provisional results. But we can see that at least for them, we have a total of the results from that constituency, from the coalition center. As we speak, the news is that Henry Korte of the NPP had 23,345 votes. Henry Korte, NPP, 23,345 votes. Now, Abdul Tubazu of the NDC, Abdul Rauf Tubazu of the NDC, 29,755. By these provisional results, you can say that, unfortunately, the Interior Minister, Henry Korte, the giant as we know him, has fallen, and Ayawaso Central has turned green. Kusia, I know these are provisional results then, but for me, it came as a surprise. I don't know how you see these results. I'll quickly also, as you come up, I'll go to 2020 and possibly look at also 2016 and find out what the difference was. Was it a constituency that we thought could easily go to the NDC?
Kwabena me ha say freeze enra anopa no nsia ye sha se be pem ena no pay no nsia kɔ no nso a ana no nso no mpo anya abo apa ho sima baako yes don hwere be ye duonu num 25 hours ni a ye sha se say ye de abato ho nsensem ebre Ghana tememfo ye mpon ye gina mu saa kwabena ye me edi nkomo be say e ya de a ye hwɛ ni mu say abato emu no obi be say surprises just eniema hodo de bi be pie mu pa nsa kire bi be ba de kire say no wo hwɛ nkomo a na wo kromu a eyade a Ghana ni a wo ho sese no wo hwɛ de wo ka wo hwɛ de wo ye wo hwɛ de wa ye nso ama na hunu ene boa obetimi aboa di wo mo abato mpɛsoa no akagina mu wo mra hye bedwam ansa na wato so aba se bra na bra bedi wo ne emanfo anim na akokɔ kyekyere mra wo mra hye bedwam efama wo mo enti baabi te sese a wo ka ne de kwabna no kra meme pa na na kyerɛ mete ha de enyame nwanwa kra enyame nwanwa baako se de kyerɛ se nsa kyerɛ de afia bato no ye behunu niam ahodo bebrebe pa de ye behunu bi pa.
All right. Nana, thank you very much. So I'm just trying to get us Ayawaso Central. Very soon I'll pick us to Ayawaso Central. But okay, so I have Ayawaso Central here. This is 2020 in Ayawaso Central constituency. Now, if you check the screen, these are for the presidential results. So let me go back and focus on the parliamentary. I noticed I'm at the presidential, so let me go back and focus on the parliamentary, because for now, I want us to focus much more on parliamentary votes in Ayawaso Central. So in the Ayawaso Central, like we are saying at the moment, we have provisional results 23,345 and for the NPP, and 29,755 and 55 for the NDC. Okay, very soon. Okay, so I am there. Ayawaso Central constituency. So this is Ayawaso Central for you. Now, if you check Ayawaso Central, we have it in 2020 where the NPP won that seat. But just like Akosia is saying, it's not so surprising. Why is it not so surprising? When we compare the 2020 votes from Ayawaso Central, you would know. Okay, all right. So now let's go to 2020. I beg your pardon. I was at 2012. So now I am at 2020. We are going to perfect very soon. We'll perfect it very soon. So Ayawaso Central in the Greater Accra region. Okay, now we are going back and to check Ayawaso Central. Nana, but even as I try to pull up the Ayawaso Central data, maybe you want to tell me generally, based on the kind of votes that we have received so far, if you look at the numbers, again, they are provisional, that are you surprised about some of the results that we are announcing at the moment?
No kware ebi ya nwanwa pa wohwe margin say oh wohwe margin say da honom between the NPP and the NDC kwabena nwanwa kakra nwanwa kakra pa de kire say Ghana man yan hwe ni mu say sempo kura no say woma eto mampani de bre woma eto mrahye badwa de bre no mpo say yebeto amanako afa bi a enya de a entwimu no eba beche bebre sa na say wom ebetimi atwemu bebre a aba no eba bekọ animu kakrasa etina nwanwa pa na ebi hwe animu say betimi aye bi a 50/49% ana say bi a 51/50 bi but say no wo sha 46%/53% to the NDC nti wabna eyade a yipa sebeye say ya de na ebewie ekọ animu no na chese mrahye bedwa enso so akonwa no se majority na ato de akọ the NDC said the provisional results wa enye certified by electoral commission dia to dwa no se sa na eba bekọ animu aba be ye dia na ebia na nkonko wie kire na adom kese no akọ akodi NDC amanyokuo no afa said the provisional results bi ni ade ewo kroma kire no Nanso so yen hye no so say yen kan wieye
yes
yen kan wieye kura bemena yen kan wieye na abato akomesa ade ba akoso na twitwa wo manam ne kan na ka say de kan ya kan ne dada san say emfidie ne hye anom de agu akwan mu na ekwa animu pa nanso so
na mami hold you on kakra na ye ne reps ne ba ko enkasa William ewo line so William otemi nkan na pay a match you. All right, now I na we news ben na wo mayen.
Yo, sisi ameno ka se me wo Panda constituency. Na yes, Panda constituency. Na that my coalition emre nyumre sa de pem anagi no. Dem say intinwa she will be esi enra anago. The report ne kwa be a report NPP parliamentary candidate or no. A special vote na yeto na special vote no say ye kind of wabra yeto no yeto yaba we ni bia ene ye kan no na MPP parliamentary candidate no it say ono no safo de won ho na also be kan na ikobi edan no na special vote ballot no eba no ono de wama MPP parliamentary candidate no wama ye say na say conference afane afamba I don't know ever in Chino, I show my friends with a type of show air banana. Am I a police for one map? If you are security for any electoral commission, no, and a couple more on what you say, and a sanitary police, no, a dynamic amory, the year, a danom. If almost signing undertaking, and Omuku, entity in the cradle now, a can't warm with you, no, and Sana almost a special vote and on the kind of time we partner with fans said no 9 up and Sunday no. Now over presidential 17,445. Now it moved 285, and I say that's the rejected ballot. Now over presidential now, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia in 7,711. 7,711. Oko GCPP a year rather than a lot there. 22. Oko Boom a year Christian Fabnan on 17. Oko Shapa Mohammed Sipon war NPC on 7. Nana Akusha from Kuma CCP on 32. John Dramani Mahama NDC on 9,234. Oko Hassan Ayara Unya 33. Kofi Granting our independent Unya 2. George Chum Berima Edu Unya 2. Nana Army Bediako the new force or no Unya 80. And Alan Kojo Chairman saying on Unya 15. I know a presidential result. Over internal presidential, and that is John Dramani Mahama, or no, and we need a bandit presidential. Now, a year parliamentary no swap, a year Nipa a 17,437. 17,437. It moved 176, and that's the ballot. Now, a numinum NPP, a year almost 20 candidates, who showed down 8,010, 8,010, 8,010, and a year up for Yankumaho, our GCPP, or no, 31. 31. And Ura Yabua Abri, our NDP, on 29. And Ura Ahmed Ibrahim, our MP that our was on our NDC, on no 9,150, 9,050. And I cannot give it out in 41. And also, not just a Ura Ahmed Ibrahim, our NDC or MP that I know, but also as a MP. Now, I never acquire a woman said, but not constituency presidential. This is the first time at John Dramani Mahama. What we need is Banda constituency. I think you won't go about this one. Over and Funia, Yadubai Noir, the street of Banda, a new Minya, a medium qua and a wa. This answer, what's a MP or Tesu Ahmed Ibrahim, or your Dudra or Don Pa into Jumandi or the degree Edjaba, to say for one swap or no, and I didn't come to Jumaba, and that's why a Banda constituency.
But let's look. Share excitement at Air Costono. How is it being managed by security officers?
Okay, you know, you're so about the way. Not I'm afraid you are there. And almost two now, in security, now you're bed. The way you look at so now the young and Nambiano, who's the police who you now, control the mob on the day, but agency. I never come when we say, I am able to follow how much you know. One night, when you to the security, no, what town here, Daniel one now, it's what it becomes.
All right, Minua Bema, Anape, Yebedawase, Only Banda Funyina. All right, so that's the update from our correspondent William in Banda. He is confirming the results. And again, we'll still call them provisional until we hear, we get the certified copies as well from the Electoral Commission. But Banda has remained green. That is, Banda still votes for the NDC in the parliamentary, and same with the presidential. Now, let's come back. I was trying to let you appreciate these figures. This is 2020 parliamentary results in the Greater Accra region, Ayawaso Central for that matter. And again, last 4 years, 2020, it was still between Abdul Rauf Tubazu of the NDC and the NPP's Henry Quartey. Now check the difference. 28,363 NPP votes, NDC votes, and then NPP votes 33,003. A difference of about almost 5,000. So the NDC may have worked extra hard this time around, which is why they appear to have gone ahead in terms of the numbers. I told you again that Henry Quartey, the provisional results we have as at now, had 23,345 votes, and Abdul Rauf of the NDC, 29,755, also about 6,000 plus votes. So the NDC worked hard to actually cover up that 5,000 difference of 2020, and then also added an additional 5,000 to 6,000 votes in this year's election. And that's one of the surprises we are hearing at the moment. Again, I will stress that these are provisional results, and we'll keep announcing them, we'll keep bringing them to your attention here and there. So, Nana, just like I said, I've tried to look at the parliamentary elections, and just like you said, you were not too surprised, because if you look at the 2020 elections, the difference was just around 5,000. The NDC may have worked harder. For me, you know, if you look at His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's ministers, Henry Quartey is one of the ministers we all saw as a hard-working minister, especially when he was Greater Accra regional minister, before he was even moved to the Interior Ministry as well. And so to see him also lose in the Ayawaso Central seat, that is why I see it as a surprise. But like you're saying, if you look at the differences really in terms of percentages, it was just 49 to 48 between the NDC and the MPP. So, well, that is what has happened.
Adia ba kwa ye be share wo political voting pattern mu said ye to aba said ye odugu nsani ani a etie from the year 1992 a enra meka besi se ene se ye shas ye se ye de abato nhyehyeye ye adwuma kaduma meka bi democracy ene da ye nyina ye di bi ne ye krasi no wo hwe said ye ne nhyehyeye ahodo tie a ade a oman Ghana a ye temu mu no kame se waban a wote so no temamufo dodo no a epese wo mo etu aban ni free so ya na mpempi no wo mo tai tuma manyoku a temamufo dwen se wo mo na aduru won so wo mo timba beboa ma oman no tibe kwa animu wo ne nhyehyeye mu no wo mo amanyofo na na so mo mra sebedwafo dodo no a na wo mo tai etu edema wo mo eni ntu behwe the year 2016 a Mampani Akufo-Addo babetena abanwa ne so asabre no na woni Owura John Dramani Mahama the major opposition na prepa wo hwa watwini mu ye pa enam sa yo sunti no mamra sebedwafo dodo na no wo mo so free MPP amanyoko na kache na se wo madwasuo mu no so amanfo eto edema wo mo wo hwe eye afi atwa mu a 2 bi a 2020 ya sa na etie sabre no so wo hwa sede yewura Mampani His Excellency obedum bie Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo sede 2016 was it twi abanimu from the NPP NDC side no a 2020 ne eso te kakra wo hwa 2016 sede Mampani Akufo-Addo atwi Mahama mu no 2020 wantimi antwi ne mu amane bebresa sa kwa kro no anso so na enam so ema wo ma amra hyebedwa konwa no no wo mo ewo bi ma eye MPP amanyoko no 2020 bebrebe no anso lusu wo mo sit de ma NDC fo itina kwa akoye se setemamfo adwen ne kire wo mo se ye to afa ha wo mo to fa ha dodo pa enti se ene ye hwensunsanso ababeto dwere kame se MPP abanwa ne dodo na wo mra hyebedwa mu abato mpeso ahodo so no temamfo eto edekọ eye the opposition NDC based on provisional results so yensa kan enye ECD na emom dia beto monten so a collation centers ahodo ye hwe bi na ye hwe sede esi ekro na so enwanwa pa se onumonyamfo Henry Quartey wahwere na konwa de ama eye Owura aye friend say Abdul Rauf Tubazu of the National Democratic Congress NDC ntine yi kakra pa nti aye was central constituency for akwa kasa nti said the coalition ne koso no ye kan amane maako no se saa na be koso ye ni nyina wie ye said ye nya nte ne dia na ene Yera Henry Kwate Greater Accra Regional Minister seat no walusu to NDC Abdul Tubazu.
All right, let's go to the Volta region. This is a home of the NDC. One constituency that we have the provisional results so far. I will concentrate on the parliamentary. I don't know, but somehow, I'm so much interested in the parliamentary. And the reason I'm interested in the parliamentary, I've been talking about it, is because of the hung parliament we have now. Some have argued that the hung parliament has really helped us a lot. But the latter part of this, year, we have all seen some of the challenges associated with the hung parliament. So we kept asking ourselves, in the next parliament, are we going to see a hung parliament? Will the numbers be that equal? So, parliamentary. Now, these are the provisional results from North Dai as at now. And I have North Dai projecting also here in 2020. We'll look at the differences very, very soon. Now, parliamentary elections, NPP candidate is the same person who stood last 4 years, and that is Edmond Atta Kujo. He had 4,723. The NDC, Jocelyn Tete, who is also the candidate, who was the candidate in 2020, had 12,778. That is Gloria Tete. Then, Jocelyn Tete. Then Gloria Agbenoto of the LPG had 134. Again, this is a safe seat for the NDC, so we can understand. But I wanted to find out the votes last 4 years as against those of this year. Now, NDC 14,424 in 2020. No, this is not. Yes, no, this is not Dai constituency.
Not Dai.
Yes, not Dai constituency. So let me try and project this up. Yes, so that we can get a clearer picture. Okay, so maybe Nana, let me allow you to pick up this one. Yes, Dennis is on the line. You may want Dennis to engage him. Yes, okay. And then we'll come back and look at the analysis.
All right. Abusuafo yanko asantemamo yamane bofo panyina wa asantemantam Dennis Owusu ejina homano so awaye krado. Obedum bie anopede na ekro bemena.
Yeah, Nana me do too. We are not paid. Now, Mama, me three more.
Said ye wo adwuma de just me krokro wada mo any adwuma pa wo ye so Pent Media Center. Anopai amane bobe na wasantema mo hefa na wugina de na ekro boyemu.
Well, Nana Mitina Padre is constituency. Na ahane die so far from Mama Tini na nimreni na yetinemu Marcel. Police Nibuso are able, but the result from Asante Bekwai constituency, Mamenfa and Nono N2 is in free hand. The over Asante Bekwai constituency, the Bekwai constituency now. So, presidential, saying that a 4 years. Total vote cast is 54,275. Total vote cast 54,275. Now, there were polling stations, Mako 189, and there was the price 189 polling stations. Now, saying that a man of 4 years, Dr. Muhammad Baumia represented the NPP, only 41,153. 41,153. John Dramani Mahama, in 10,981. 10,981. Daniel Augustus Lassie. Enya 44, Christian Kwabena Andrews, Enya 89, and a Kofi Akwalu, Enya 11, Kofi Kwante, Enya 6, Nana Kwame Bidiapo, Enya 693, and Alan John Kwajuche Makin, Enya 322. Rejected ballot, AF 853, and Asante Bekwai constituency. Now, so far, Asante Menua, I think the police, it was so across all areas, all constituencies, you saw a police, each have been a still police in Busua, Obaha, man to be in presiding officers know at the almost polling results in our if you throughout the night, maybe I hear a Jumakesia Air Force, but the reality is that I can't remember you baby, you yes, Yamaya, maybe police results, I am
Yo, Dennis, what's your santimemu ayedin? Ede na ma santimemu ayedin. Ghana political data kyerɛ sɛ wokɔ da Ashanti regional. Eyade a aba no dodo na ya na mpempi wo moto de ma wo so no amanyɔkuo MPP. Ereka me sɛ afia bato no. Based on data analysis results bi a wahunu no. Eya sesa kakra bato ni bi yakɔ no dodo mu de ama NDC amanyɔkuo no asante mantam ana.
Nana question me and not low voter turnout now so across the Ashanti region. It will have a very negative impact NPP and yet almost stronghold so because I will share agree it Hakwana me one and turnout no it wasn't massive. But the reality is that what because each in the final phase but on ground any results in Katanta A2P in a yenya Quinyanti Edibetujano. Among where we say and that's one because even say MP's name we know every name or more results in Ukraine. It doesn't add up to parliamentary to obit media presidential to obit media pushy at the upcoming. It is so as a mutual a main route near Adia among what is your fee and a section of the NDC for Katrana. Any go on or the pain on them to Katana or boom. But Kenya Santimemus here as compared to last 4 years after the result a police in Anna among who they say who's known is that streets are very empty. And I will be also a shady or general.
Dennis, yen some truffle, yenny edin some wachi, ya son so ever from able to form pa. A sentimentum the enemy sank about to drew dear. Just say, at this year or one casa, pub a drum, ever santimemo. Now, what's it been commobile chrome? A dear mamma for one quarter, that is a sentimentum dear, just say, Abano Concra, a dear woman sat down to crack, free about one share by Pim, a year 2024. A fee a fear sentimentamo, a Santa Fon sat down to Abacra, a dear no come over chroma crowford, dear teenage as a man sat down to Abanasa.
Then I'm coming Abra near Pop Ground, time I hear your constituency focus, Abra, Yang constituency, number one. A plan up for developmental project. I answered that for Ashanti region. Now, a camera for you as a air now what you know me and Sabino, and you will be who not a fidelity pounds and any human or more yarn. And commodity no young propose initially and say, also, I'm going to power material. Na omo adis ready omo de to aban ni mo no so no aban ni atwi nani enti ekoye say ahade yenya yefie ahade yenya yekum ahade yeye plan omo be to amaye na one who share the stronghold of the NPP no either say man to ama odia ene to ma the opposition ene a lot of decision no ekoye say instead of say me be to ma opposition ya me be to na it is that year turn out no very low because also radio now it is more like almost radio no so almost said that and casted the FM papa dia can say oh Asante de ombeto amaye Asante de ombeto amaye if you no na microphone here said no let's register our displeasure through voting na almost so empty say you will to me say you must the NPP in the Ashanti region. If that is what I think, then I'm actually say ampa. Omo de put to me no nyama no no. If you want to part there, oman kwa kasa. Na ye share the final outcome of it. Set up na oman kwa kasa ye na. Ehun sama airborne ketenkete na no pay no. Better akoso akọ enyumremu adi a easy final no beba out aba be declare result.
Yo. Dennis waso ehenten asantemantem mu de yenim se de beto fom bia ya na wotibi asantemantem adwobrɛw na nso se de tie bia no brono ne mpɔtam bi wɔ hɔ ma hɔno manfo na ni so ɔhyepa kyese wo mani edene emiamia betitsa wa asantemantem no eya adwobrɛw se de emiamia nyina dwudin anso onwugu so no ana mate se bitibiti kakra bi wɔ baabi Ghana de ye pasumdwe
Nana asumdwe sem wa asantemantem de betimi akase mema of 90% security issues for ye power and ubenya one or two baby or how best say o ha say ni say but enye senior e betimi de oye ni bia fa ani ade it within the Ashanti region I can assure you as a reporter here say ni security in semono for ye pa e wa asantemantem mo de bia e de
Yo, Dennis, ma yena wasini yankwaso anka nkyerɛ sɛ Dennis bakon wa hu.
If I say Dennis, who see figures in Subio Mami, just the presidential and parliamentary between the MPP and NDC, me pesi share analysis kakre bi tikasi su kakra ma yemi. Kwabri East no, yeah.
Okay, my presidential to be MPP and NDC Quadri is the so funny a young Emma was collating
Oh, okay. Bekpai rather. Okay. Into obey to me AC and no subio mama.
Yes, the 5 constituencies so far total vote cast 54,275. Now, presidential now Dr. Muhammad Bawumia of the NPP in 41,153. And John Dramani Mahama of the NDC in 10,981. Rejected ballot 853. Now your parliament below to us. Kwesi Abufa Ajima. I think that we know how candidates we know just careful and parliamentary.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to look at the voter turnout numbers. No, into if the presidential no cries is just fine. We can manage that.
Yes. If the turnout, only 54,275. Now, for you have the 5 years, and 80,000 at the moon. But we know 54,000. It tells you that turnout, and compared to 2020 elections now.
Exactly. And no, may try some pulling it up, no, but I'm not getting back quite here for that analysis. But obviously, because that may share voter turnout, no. In 2020 as against the differences in terms of how many votes the MPP may have dropped. They still won, but how many votes they may have lost. But Dennis has raised a very a key issue, the attitude of voters now, what they decide to do, because in the last 2 weeks to the polls, we saw a lot of action in the Ashanti region. And if you remember on your morning show, Assembly morning show, I kept talking about how the NDC and the MPP were all spending a lot of time in the Ashanti region because they realize and acknowledges the voter population in that region, number one, and what that would do. And just like Dennis Kine was saying, they are on the grounds. We are waiting for the Electoral Commission to certify some of these results so we can put them out there. But they are on the grounds, and all indications are that the Ashanti voter is not happy about certain things. But because the voter already leans to the color blue, what they would rather prefer to do is not to go out at all to vote. But it may not necessarily be just in the Ashanti region, because me and Kasa yesterday, just a few people interacting with the people. Yes. So,
in fact, right from say a free studio discussion, me call a year Ablekmanov constituency and I'm a tomaba. Me call to aba. Me science for coverage. I will honor Edeka Kraba beto a platform no so. No crap. As at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Anna Cabeza don't share back 1 hour pet. Na ya pong about one. Now we share polling station. In the paper say 570, 500 and over, almost 600 to aba. Now as at 4 p.m. na ye ka kire wo say enipa be 280 na ba beto na say emu half mpo kura am meto. Enti na I think the issue from the Ashanti region no a nationwide issue nya asante mantam nkwa na temamfo dodo na nkwa nkoto aba ade ampotam ne mia bebrebe no a amanfo aba no bia na wo man hyeda nkwa nkoto akwa na be kai say enra no pa ye sha asiese ye hwe de niema air constitution on grounds ya share vote na say ye sha asia no pa no nsia 7 and ye sha asiese ye to aba ye ne correspondence ahodo a won na afo etifin atoye epoye oman ne mantam ahodo ne regions and constituencies ahodo nyina bedi nkomo no oh higher brow nipa dodo on shede ni ha obeto ya na wokọ say di almost bia kwa wiemu no na eno na no pa na ni nipa ni ho no kiwu ni ho no wo mo nkoto sante wo mo nto line no na no kire yen say edom ankwa bonte ankwa ankoto ba bia ni enim say polling centers na ado osunti no say kiwu ni ho line ni ho yen to sante kese esusu na eno na no pa na me say na ka bi kire yen say abatu odom edi akire no na ewo fom pa
na yenko na yene brother Jeffrey eninko meanwhile obetimi akọ pentvonline.com obi ebisa questions say on social media say where can I follow for accurate results Mr. pentvonline.com share Pent TV na call your social media platforms you can be rest assured the figures we put out there have been confirmed but they are still provisional results until they are verified by the EC. Jeffrey Kobi anape michiao. Yes, Jeffrey. Now, oh, he reporting coalition center ben awo. Okay, inti twa home phone extra yen then na AC marking kan ewie makoleti ewie ana ekosai. Okay. Okay. Jeff, at Medina, so no, what could be the case in Tia and Rana Johnny Munina and Yentimi Anshadenia, Safigasi, and appearance at APA? Did you also experience delays at report at certain other places, Nana?
Oh, so far, the days you global evangelical apart from that, the main so far, the
okay. Now, yet reports of supporters are a move to coalition center. They are not supposed to be there anyway. As at this morning, they say, "Woma brabra akwa kodana, womo guso di police."
I've been on perform everybody inside.
Okay.
I've been on perform
okay. Security situation so at the same security a police for one more protecting yama bibia kokama.
Oh, bibia kokama and body dey na won pia o se bi be
I know some Medina and Kasa was the grounds are NDC for a year womo final rally. Now Medina Chrome no so at saying anape.
The Oja, India, that's the almost almost clear. The job NDC, the down to any start ever. So yeah, after saying anything I want to any power smile and the here,
all right. right. Jeff, yeah, that's it. I mean, footage is not to me who say EC officials now, a boy Juma, and they will still keep in touch. Now, as soon as the results are certified by the EC, yes, so yet to me, Eddie Atuja. Nyami Shrapa ni ejuma wo ya na pay.
I agree.
Yo, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Vision here, global vision.
Yes, a global vision.
Global vision, and I shall see him pony. Great.
Right. So that's our correspondent, Jeffrey Kobe, all the way from Medina. Well, he tells us that coalition is still ongoing, but very soon it should finish. He says everything is calm at this moment, but supporters have started trooping to the place. A lot of them are in the expectant mood. A lot of them believe that the NDC has won, so they are kind of like celebrating, but it's quite on the low because they are waiting for the final certified results from the Electoral Commission. I always say that you don't have to celebrate until that comes out, because once it hasn't been certified, it means that anything can happen. Things need to be cross-checked. Figures need to be cross-checked for all of us to agree. Every party may have their own results, but the EC's certified results are what we go by. And so we'll wait and still be following up there. And once we get the certified results from Medina, I'm sure we'll put it out there. Dada.
Yo. Kwabena, yenim se woko Medina domi ene trobu mpota mo hono ma yade anura no nsuo ha adwen kakra. Nanso so yes center ankasa on Medina constituency. Medina ya constituency bia, I think say afi 2024 about wonimu no the NDC omo de adwuma gu fomo pa kese womo yirom ho ye adwuma e wo Medina constituency honom wa wo hwa mrahye bedwane a wosi ade hye na mu wo NDC amanyokuo no Frank aso wo Medina lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu wo hwa ne social media inputs bi campaigns ne rallies bia na ekoso a ade a womo ye adwuma pa. But then so not the MPP so the original modema woman no so chese wo ma che wo boot for boot pa. But Medina constituency no constituency bia yenim se mra kakra ne lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu no na no osi wo ma na mu wo mra chese support no de ma NDC Medina constituency no ade ana chese more ana se edom ana se dodo wo emu enti no enye me nwanwa se ne say wo Medina constituency say the Jeff can almost yezu zare chese almost NDC afa wo honom dia ade a constituency no ka me say mra kakra ni no wo mo nana wo mo etumi edi so na so no communications director inkitahudie bofotene de ma NDC amanyokuo no Sami Jemfi Esquire wo de betu dwa say NDC fo nto wo mo boase mama ni nyem mama ho nyem ti yansa as ye nunu mu bi sa munya potere na yemma bato komesa asumdue no ne kom ye no mo munya kwan enkenkan aba ne nyina pepepe na yemmebo si we na afa ha nsa na ni je bi wo ho no mu a yate asekrom amiani age mo era mfrese Ghana ha na Black Stars free. Just the last minute, it's me surprise. Last minute, the Black Stars team for the Ebuanum. Into the entrance, Bibia, when I no war any Jabia, who are home quite say brilliant. It's me out there.
Of course, that's what we are all expecting, that will be calm and we'll wait for the final certified results. But if you check for me, again, we are all going to wait for the certified result. But what I'm going to be looking at as the 2024 results for Medina comes through is the difference. In terms of the votes that Honorable, Francis Xavier Sosu would pick up. Last 4 years, difference almost 18,000, 17,000 thereabout, because the NDC had 61,972 votes in the parliamentary. We are focusing on the parliamentary. I've always been interested in the parliamentary, and the NPP Abubakar Sadiq Boniface had 46,799. So we'll find out this year once we get the certified results where it is going, and then the kind of difference that
Kwabena we 2020.
Yes, 2020 there analysis into afeni train.
What's your number of votes lawyer Francis Xavier Sosumfie Pinu near Duno 2020 when they train Abubakar Sadiq Boniface mu Madina constituency ebi wo
yes
constituency bi a wo to NDC but about come person me hwe na me hunu yie ne say as to afi wo betimi atwe mu say 2020 wo twe mu ana.
Especially when we are talking about low turnouts.
Low turnouts. And also what's said the Niema Bessia Madina constituency and important but
Nana, I don't know if you've taken notice. Most of the provisional results we've received, the number of votes we are recording as rejected ballots. Well, I'm yet to look at the national figure, but it appears to be on the low, and I'm happy about it. And I'm saying this because, well, I'm waiting for the national figure so we can look at something. But per what we have been receiving from the polling stations, the rejected ballots are not that many. However, the reason why I've picked this up is because of the Equiadonko factor on the presidential, ballot. Somewhere saying that putting the Equiadonko picture there, not doing a complete reprinting, could make people decide to vote for her. So I'm waiting to see the national picture when it comes to the rejected ballots for this year's election, for us to see whether it is huge, and then maybe we can interrogate and be able to find out if maybe, just maybe, because we had Equiadonko in the list, people were forced to go vote for her.
I think, sir, the Electoral Commission could have made a change in ballot papers, but then the Nina Papa, your mining sicker summer holiday. Yeah, sure, Brian, my mere don't go body to suffer, and ya pay about 1 just like Yanuaka Crana Bain. It's maybe a idea, you share papers, ya printing idea, some for your fra, a beha drain. And so about to come at the betu just a Piadonco. Well, because to a man a rejected ballot is I say, one tears if you know, can you home and a bumino. Well, crime be so no, and no crime be so no, Cabato commissar, every me a bibic a cradia for home. But Ghana higher Tiano. I dear Bako Ghana for Moon said, I dear friend is a humobro, any papaye, any acomapa, we free and way ye. A mobro dear will be overload Wakasa, ye will be and Cassam and Nebro so, hey, Ghana for near humobro. And to be an Equiadonko won't buy no. About by a mobile crana to say, oh, and Tiama for be a cotoma, no, not rejected ballot. Bacabana, a dear Baqua, man, and naturally who said, I can't be a man rejected ballot, what me a ba. And say, a fianca sancasano, your problem Baco, nationwide. A low voter turnouts, a dumb MP and Quancotuabano. A drum and jib boom and quanko to a bano. And maybe I need to suck a cran, I about Sabrani and Drusi a better be no. Your mamma near papa no more sorry how much in a cocos and lie. Like be a bit soon what to be no. And so I feel your honesa. It is a nipado do one quanko to her. And in any part do a bad mistake, our ballot to Panosono, and also bet me about form. And here be an so can who be, and sin a cocoma rejected ballots no answer down also. And to drum the one and quanko, and to mistaking so a bano, and also so extra. And to be an also so can who be na rejected ballots and send some no. It's me a baby drew the drew say after a form. Nanso so mesan so much made same. Ya to about America cranie. Ya sunya de nso so man settlement mu fo nso kwa nimu. Ti kane no obi nhunu to ene wa hunu to. Ti no so ka ho bi ene bia rejected ballot and send some no. Atumi aba form a fi ye bo nsama ye ho se yankwa anko se paper no because empempi no bet na rejected ballot nko e wo mu no he say timi kra aboa ma obi timi e wen ne timi ma obi wen ne eti kakra ka ho no kwabra
strangely.
What is strange?
So we talked about Ashanti region and the fact that both low voter turnout and all that. There is a certain candidate, the Alan Chremanting. It looks like he's not garnering votes like we thought he would, at least in the Ashanti region. With the other regions, he's doing poorly from the provisional results we have received. And I don't know whether
I don't know. I really don't know because Cheddar from that is Nana Kwame Bediako. He is pulling some votes. It's still insignificant, really. But if you look at the numbers, well, the other candidate we expected to give John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Baumia a run for their money is Alan Chremanting. But from the provisional results we have now, we haven't been able to, Alan really hasn't been able to give us some good figures. We'll come and pull up Alan Chremanting, but Alex Obo Yebua, a.k.a. Helifi. Ora, Alex, and I'll pay Michelle. Mubwe Juma, na anajono na etese matrimu abisi anapi.
Nyata mputo bepi wae achumanwa beja sauta. Our coalition center na wae smart report we hona omudi bia be kuna from enya dimena de sisami omugusu a omo ehhehye nyama so far presidential omoti ayuya omudi bia so ababa parliamentary no ana omugusu a eno so yakoso.
Okay, before I remember numbers, this one kasano. Constituency nankasa etese. We share video here out to Musa man for bienia bria. You are just anxious, waiting for MP. But generally, constituency no more to say.
So far, and we no. Now, the say again can be possible some police stations, but on a period. We get to about the Junior Center Home. So far, so good. Media possible.
Me who say as a center how there a man for be branch dey ni hot to say other centers a yehu a man for akotra home person obo hu ni e ko we na say just the party agents that were ho.
The channel the Omar by issue officials so more na era super and na bi mu tina ma fight ya and bi tina kofi.
Okay.
So for more than
Aka. Oh, okay. All right. Iti any figures I want to bet me the atuja na yenko yenim.
Okay. When you padua to register ya tanka on the to aba. No year 96,757. But when you pay to about the to aba 63,114 just about one.
But figure ne subio mame.
Registered voters are Naka Musha and Mutankum Baba too. No more 96,757. But in Ipa, voters is number 2 year, 63,140. And that's all there is Padua 9 to Miyama,
sir.
Kenya Abano is your point. NPP in 34,000.
Where Niaububo ye presidential, me boy.
We need presidential.
All right, you. Koso.
NPP in 44,199. NDC in 16,873. GCPP in 36, GUM in 70, LGP in 8, NDP in 7, CPP in 45, APC in 26, New Force in 872, and Alan and so Alan Chremanting in 239. Kofi Granting in 7. Let us say South Africa presidential.
South and north.
South, I have to get south.
All right.
Rejected voter in 720. Rejected vote, I was really
Pap. Oh, we just talked about rejected ballots. We was through pap. All right, Alex, Bibi will hope you my person near China.
Well, so far, parliamentary, I feel so much sharing in the
You get a tofu, left and right.
All right. Nyami enshra pa help. Sisi a we fi agudie mu e de call election reporting. Nyami enshra na pe ye chichiamo. All right, so that's about it. Our correspondent, Alex Obo Yeboah, he brought us figures from Chima Nwabeja South. We'll go there and do an analysis, compare with last 4 years. But let me just mention the figures again. He says the total number of registered voters, 96,757. And out of that, 53,114 responded to the call to vote. So there's a huge difference of almost close to 40,000, but it's about 38,000 voters decided not to vote. Nana, in the Ashanti region, Ekuma Nwabeja. You're born the same?
Ekuma Nwabeja.
All right.
Oran kasa am say carrier can because on we say carrier boy.
Yeah. You were making a point. Also which say
yan koma ye di kan ene ya man bofo Dennis Owusu edi ye no e ye trodo Dennis nso so e de biba be som yen o ma yeti ase se be kwa constituency na no wo Asante mantem wo hwa edom anto aba no afi 2024 said the free see a sha se to aba o ma to aba pem sese no edom anto aba no e wa Asante mantem Dennis di aba e free be kwa constituency owura so owura kwadwo help di aba atwuma Nwabeja eno so wo say edom pupuo sei anto aba no we chere sa fi Asante mantem aba no
Afi yen share an analysis what kind of figures in ye presidential no NPP nya 44,199 and NDC nya 16,873 we and president ye beba rejected ballots no so yen ko 2020 this is 2020 presidential results we want to match that against 2024 presidential now in 2024 NPP had 44,199. Now, guess what? That is in 2024. Now, in 2020, NPP had 58,109. Now, if you look at the difference, 44,000. So, NPP, if even they decided to maintain just these voters, or just maybe 100 of them decide not to vote, they could have maintained the 58,000 votes. Now they have dropped from 58,000 plus to 44,000. However, because at least we have recorded the low voter turnout across the Ashanti region. But look at the NDC. In 2020, the NDC had 13,827. Now check what the NDC had this year, 2024, 16,873. An additional of almost about 3,000 votes from the same stronghold of the NPP.
NDC every a year 13,000. Ababedru a year 16,000.
That's right.
Now just a swing voters no adolf pa e wa sentiment we kire say a drum bia na etuma NPP amanuko no wo man to afi wo mo to edema NDC ne wo hwa sentiment one a wo ye NPP ni amoja no wonu mu a won de wontimi nkoto ma John Mahama no wono so his excellence wono so won to kra and it's way idea a hard pa I think after all is said and done no it was said well on my money now because this is not the best crazy e beto aba don beka se yento say yet na ho yen hwe ha masade we to us bedru ba bi no but we come say adaka si wo kra wo bia anko because we can get there say na ya ba bedru ba bi edru about half of a population and to aba bedru ba bi a obi enko to kra nti o se ye to aba ni nyina bia oman ye tena ase ye wadwuma ye
sir yo afi yen can rejected ballot because you see an edi hu come say at least for ni abado ye nya national picture no but this is one constituency. This is in the Ashanti region, a stronghold of the NPP. We can only imagine where they would have voted. I mean, who they would have voted for here. 720. Enough of. the other political parties are not getting this figure. This is serious. 720 rejected ballots.
South.
A hard. And this is all we're just talking about. So this time around, we are not seeing a lot, but it's worrying. Nana, what could account for this number of rejected ballots? Among for Nekwe, normally 2 baby keke. And then Crofwan rules last year because me who say campaign, at least the 2 leading parties, NPP and NDC, ballot paper, how they should vote, how they should fold it, and all that. You think there could be a special reason why we have recorded this number of rejected ballots? 720 is quite on the high.
Yo, Kwabna, I say, Sadia, we have a shana, yedi, a home elcoma. My rain free say, about 12 commissar, Eddie Baba 2, just say, Ukoko to the man, Yamamia Piadon, considered as rejected. Now, I Piadon console, Sawumpil. What politics woman say, baby, I will be free. I can't be in a hot 40 or daughter about Edemano. Yes, I'm rather Papa J, Jerry John Rollins, shall see a dear man, somewhere here. Now, free Frau Mantem, and it's near me what Frau Dodona. No one to Amaba, Ed the Quadrima, NDC Amarico. Yes, shall obey to say the gentle giants, Papa J. Kufor, a Santa Mantem and no free. Edom Dodona to Aba, Edeko Edema, Yera J. Kufor, a Santa Mantem. Ye baba hwe emra ye wura sese ote abanwa so a ye hwe de ebekọ na ye hwe de ebekọ akosie mampani his excellency na dankwa kufuado amra no wo ba bia na ofura na yanim ene se wo ye ochini ofri achemman emu enam sa yo sintino achemfo dodo na ato aba ne bum e de ma ye MPP amanweko na so ene se kokọ santamantem na se rejected ballot dodo na atimi afiri hono mo aba Mama Yama free said the politician Akuadonko, where Santini. Akuadonko free a year Asante Mantem no emu. And it's in a say, Bibisa Atono, say, or what the Aton Sa Frenum. Na abato comments say, Uko to aba at the Makuadonko rejected ballot. Beer, na a your door, ne man for. Ninu anoma Sante for what the man to the beer na, Uko have a bit to such man will be just southward. Do na Kokoto ye. Edemakia donko bia na nunti na ama rejected ballot no ababedru say say wo mo no mo ni free kro ha wo mo nuane no ti bia na wuo no ye wo mo ya chen bia wo free baabi ha ti bia na no nso wo honom bi nso ana bi no mo susu nya hu aba na to o mo to ne basa say ballot yo ma yankwa homa ne so na ye ne ye nua ba ma nana Kwadwo Asempa entwe enkomo hello Kwadwo
hello Agosia
Kwadwo na ho to san yo be ma
me wo na brenda ya be ndai
adwuma die adwuma enso dewu adwuma ne de chan ya katua yo Kwadwo na wugina me so won kran na enso na wugina fa honom nkomo no fa som yen
yo emprepre die me wo okai ko no baba to be so anoso na abaso ye tupitenra abatomene ya kai ni na ewie na ya kai ewie no anwachia ya kenkaya na police center ya kana menina sieni no ena ye twaya ma aseina isipenia owa sei watime akana menina sieni na wodi social so no ebe amaye na taye kwaso so no mu a the presidential no they were Mahmoud Bawumia our country no on 18,890 and NDC John Dramani Mahama and 29,710 now and what the parliamentary no so idea NDC Mami Ojinemu Mame Teresa Ladi Awuni and also Already, about the home of the power, we have to go na Mameno Enya 29,710, or 28,710, our one. Na a year parliamentary news, yeah, Mame the Kuanso Enya Amano by 20,042. Nanina Muno, I idea not to say.
ya maame there is a lady awini ono na oye incumbent MP ya to aba e de ama no say on kan so ye ma se bejani awo kai queen of about person so a eno so aye enikapa na se si asoba ekitafo a ewa ha no aye bebre pa omoni age amu boss amamo awa ha papa enya sentuma kura na emprempre ma mesensu aye parliamentary de so ma ubiem ye maame abena na nama doku a enya 20,627 and ye maame eye Teresa Ladi awini enya 28,363 28,363 and no and ye we Hamid Ibrahim so enya 270 ewo hono mo a and also aye oje ojire mu adema aye PPP amayuku no and you say I can say dear young man make there is a lady are winning one no and what you couldn't say myself Jenny I will okay enough about a person so one can say I am making some cassia pa edema and best one now a bombardier share boss of the year but they at their boy don't the money mahaba and when it's a now or they see what's up I'm a gun at 2 for them and to me I was about and to be near about Kosia that would be yeah now I don't know about the person so no center I say no, the diako na wiye.
NDC nipa ya maame Teresa Ladi awini wano na chase wedding konim over Nana Dokuya Asiama AJ of the NPP. Kwa asam na mimi sawe waje so
Wa ye maame Dokuya abofom. Teresa Ladi aye ye maame Dokuya ade abofom a se wa se nkunim ma to so mienu biem. So no ye MP o te jaso incumbent MP. Na wata so di nkunima na kese ono asa de so ye tuma e de ma NDC amanikuo no.
Yo, na ye no say ye den la sasebre say de tie bia coalition center honom NPP amanyokufo na chitafo bi e wo honom a wo mo ba ye e de ma ye maame Dokuya asiama na wono no wogina mu e wa kuapem na chese ofre kuapem to na o kan kwen wo ba ye MPP fon komo ben e na wo coalition center ho say what tititi bi enkobo bi koso
awati die na MPP for the bebre na wa ha na mo ma dia chi e ka nipa ba ko a na o jire mu dia ma eye ma me amadoku a na so aga ka ya ba ba na wie no e na o so ri chi a ye ma me Teresa Ladi insem bona ba so se wa ya de di nkuni enti ye ma ba ni wie na je se wa sori ekwa a na je se o no plan NDP ni na wa e so wa sori pare je se o mu nyina ekọ aka NDC kitafo ene mpanyefo nko e wa ha se ya ba ba na de yi
yo Nana kwadwo asempa ye beda wasepa na nso ye pese ye hu se mpremprem pa no ye nya ne ntie se electoral commission about war commissar Nana musifo officials mienu ene collapse ye baby
there is an urgent press conference where we need to pick yes
yo kwadwo ye fa wo si ha se na ye ko fan sem trofo nhia mudie ne ewia na
electoral commission ayade a wo mo try some my updates into an appeade ache oma you ready oma sha se crowded and quickly no we want to bring you that coverage. The electoral commission press briefing is ongoing.
The results from the National Coalition Center are also posted at the National Coalition Center. Once this is done, the returning officer for the presidential election, in the person of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, declares the winner of the presidential election. For the information of the general public, as we speak, no results have been received at the National Coalition Center. And I repeat, no results have been received at the National Coalition Center from the regions. Our feedback from the field is that the results are trickling in to the regional coalition centers. Hence, our inability to publish these results at the National Coalition Center. We want to assure that As we receive the results, region by region, they will be published. We urge all citizens to exercise patience and follow the EC's periodic announcement. We will keep you updated as we have done over the past 24 hours. We also call on both our permanent and temporary officials across the country, particularly the constituency coalition centers, to stand firm and carry out their duties as expected of them. We also urge the agents of the political parties to cooperate with our staff to ensure the smooth transmission of results at both the constituency and regional levels. We are grateful for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Director, Electoral Services. On this note, the update for this morning comes to an end. We'd like to thank you very much for coming, and we usher you back to the NCC. Thank you very much. Bye.
Right, the results are still trickling in, and just gone by, Electoral Commission updating us. Well, largely they have said that if you are hearing that some results have gotten to the National Center, it is not true. At the moment, what we can even see, if you look at the process, is that by now it is the regional coalition centers that should be receiving some results. So as we speak, there is not even one result at the national level. And if you know, the national level, the EC chairperson is the returning officer for the presidential. So the declaration for who wins presidency will be made at the national level. And as we speak, we don't have anything yet. So all the figures we are putting out there, you are seeing, are provisional, and they need to follow a certain chain. They are announced at the polling station, they are announced at the constituency coalition centers, they go to the regional coalition centers, also announced there, and then transmitted to, transmitted to the national. So let's take note of that, which is why we are doing a lot of analysis on the parliamentary, because for the parliamentary, it will be announced at the constituency level by the EC officials and also certified. So we were dealing with Okankwe North. Okankwe North, our brother Asempa gave us some figures. Nana is going to help us with those figures. We'll refresh our memory on the figures obtained at Okankwe North, and then we'll match it against 2020, what happened in Okankwe North, and see who lost a lot of votes. We have seen that the voter turnout affected all the parties, but it seems to have affected some parties more. than the others. So we'll look at 2020 against what we have just received from Okankwe North and then find out how it goes. Nana, Yanko figures in the Subium, Okankwe North.
Nana Kwadwo Asempa na etwetwe nkomo free Okankwe North constituency. Na chese de ogina mu on the side of the MPP. Ye maame Nana Dokuya Asiama Ejei ono ofrekua pem na bankran. The incumbent MP a wono no ya to amane dada on na teso. Wo hwe results na kamya ye say nya certified by ECU but certified by Nana Kwadwo Asempa reporter. Wode ababa to just ye maame Teresa Ladi Awini wono ena chese wasan so afa ewo eye Okankwe North about on Pesuan eso na wo kire yen se Nana Dokuya Asiama Ejei onyabatuo no emu 20,627 20,627 ena ye maame Teresa Ladi Awini enso so enya 28,363 28,363 etina chese wo hwede a watwe ye maame Nana Dokuya Asiama mu pa over 8,000 voters ena chese wagidie free nsem bakwabna ye share coalition ye share results bi ayensa kan I don't know. On the side of the New Patriotic Party as a political organization, is it the choice of parliamentary candidates? And no can who be and nanye binom dama o man kwan koto abani boom because voter turnout ni low. Ye share the side of the NDC abra wo call parliamentary primaries ni ade wie ye no. Na wo supporters do na enhye dem ni challenge with oma yi wo so wo konko gina en contest on parliamentary basis en fama manyoko no ba oba be share the side of the NPP na kwakusen krofo kana delegate no na delegate for na delegate for na delegate for nko na se ehono nsem no na wo ho pa enti em se voter turnout ne results aye hunu na ne no ye hwe peteta kram ye hunu ne den ye tena asem bi morning show su bia na ye di hu nkomo especially kwabna ka say ya nhwa anka ne ye bedru abato na kasa ne it will have an effect on the party but wo hwe said yes ya twe Nana Dokuya Asiama Ejei mu wo Okankwe North no a emu oduru pa si ya twetwe NPP amanfo aka say ya wo ba bia nya NPP strongholds a ansha enshada enkoyie pasa enfama amanyuku
Over Greater Accra, an interesting place, and our reports be we wait for the certified ones and then be able to confirm. But at least Okankwe North, your correspondent, they are easy a certified or down where easy official now. So, but yes, Sabekana are projected soon. However, Mekasi be a meka on Assembly morning show say by Tuesday, Wednesday, meeting Assembly morning show no be on the smoothness level. Now, Nana figures out the abbey young be in 2020 Okankwe North. Said our canon, Okankwe North last 4 years no, and yet Mami Dokua and a buy. And she's a new face, exactly. And like you are saying, it could be one of the factors. A bit to be a hard but Yanshe baby. In 2020, NDC votes are womunya 29,281. This year, Waboso Amaye say womunya 28,363. Not just say womu kran womu dropo kakrabat and shed that nose be brisa. Afi ye shed ye mami doku adie Oshe candidate ojina ye 4 years ago. Fuseni Isa. Wanunya 27,242. So not just a one ye mami Teresa difference ne about 2,000. However, this year Dokuya baya yes san ya yedi Dokuya baye she difference no obo so between about to be my 20,000
20,627 NPP Nana Dokuya Asiama Ejei Okankwe North.
Meanwhile, NPP different candidate in 2020 no womunya 27,200 Fuseni 27,242. The can loss they lost almost about 8,000 votes this year. The question is it that 27,000 of MPP voted decided say wabon koto this year And because some cars are more cost NDC, and NDC would have had a higher figure than what they did because they even dropped compared to 2020. And again, it tells you say bebrenano and kwanko tokra because almost koye kotoye and almost some would have had NDC figures shooting up than it did. So still a larger number of NPP sympathizers more or less decided that, okay, maybe what's the Sandoku at the end of this time, we are not happy with her.
It's what make us say. For the NPP as a political organization, a business. Politics a business. A investment. A business. For the NPP as a political organization, the choice of candidates I know say right from time to parliamentary primaries. Primaries next time voters no supporters they had a challenge, they had problems with the choice of delegates na make it. And as happened na ye kasa na ye tufu e de delegates say mo ba be primaries mo kwa aba no mo to a mo nto de omanfo am no mo nyina won potam no be pese wo mo be yi no se wo delegates no nko akokoshe kwa na baabi kwa ye yi bi no kokoto de mo obi ne de ne ba bia na ono no onye the people's choice se onye the people's choice ya enam so nti no aba no wa wo banfo no wo mo nhyada nkokoto obi wo ho no aye de obi aba se wo no ene wo ba be gina mu akokopre mra hye bedwa di bre na mama no kuo no onye obi a wo no wo pese wo to de ma no eni to nkokoto kra eso nka bia mo de de wo no epe no ba ye se bia so mesi be gina ha sei na wo gina mu fama MPP amanyoko ono ene dom e wo constituency mo pe na nya de delegate pa oh MP de ye penasem pa eni to ba kwakoto de amasa MP no okoto de ma MP na se de etie bia mampani di bra no so no wo beto e de etim so e de amaba omia enti se delegate choice no ne kokodi nkonim na ama the people's voice and the people's choice na etimi ankwa nkodi nkonim a eyet then who effect ebe on the parliamentary side who effect so be say aba on the presidential side etimi de ye hu ni say won potamo ne mia bi no e hyeda nya me hu kura esan say wo hwe the year 2020 analysis eba ya ma Teresa Ladi Awuni 28,000 now kokko hwe Fuseini Isa 27,000 plus up Ayabianka NPP maintain the right delegates, excuse me to say, the right delegates, maintaining no, and campaign no course Sujia, Ayabianka MPP, or Kanque North, and yet the crown from MPP, Amanyoko said, Hebia, Teresa Ladi, I wouldn't come to me boot for boot, and as I'm never call boot for boot, pa, I'm not a seat, no, it's me about MPP, dear. I think what kind of the choice of political delegates, you're the buyer for the parliamentary, no, a can be Nama Abano, Eco Form Pa, Edema MPP as a political organization, I will kind of but Kwabna, I am another Quia Major. When we said Oquia dear, Oquia Penny, and no. Epiapem ena no wo me ko su kakra wa epiapem enti meti ni din meti ne fans pa wa sam potem ho nom na so aduru ba bi no na ne manfo wa epiapem no wo mani nyi ne ho wo mo so mo hyeda hunu ne wa ba be di wo mani ma epiapem ma ho no wa ye de ama wo ma fe no wo mo san tuma ne bio enti ebia no no aka so hwe wo hunu se seat ni wo ho nom de ma no na eye shaky esan se ho nom no wo ba afoforo no wo mo to de ma na pa be duru ba bi no wo se no wo nya adwuma enti na akwa ebibi ho nom de ama no Trodom no free honum ton e wo bankran e de enti no free honum e bankran o bankran so a ene ankoyie kura afi enti the next time ye wo delegates ne primaries no delegates mo kwa kwato a mo nwe national mo de mekwa kwato delegates ne kakra bi o ne dru national Ghana will decide Ghana decided so no will decide.
In fact, Ghana decided, now we decided. Let me remind that. And Sunday, today is a Sunday, 8th of December, so we'll go to church. Sorry, Bremo Kakra. Pent TV. Then somewhere around 8:30 there about the connecting the live service at Bremo General Secretary and one year sorry twaso not results no the nina Bremo intino mami fabibi in film kakra maybe a results back yamoboso na yakwa sorry kakra time ne do a yebekwa sorry na Pastor Chibweti a comment or your post be enra me boss so aiding common Pastor Chibweti a Suffolk QB as your friend or your former general manager. Yeah.
Oh,
or your former general manager ewo Pent TV. Okay, you was Simon Hedeka ewo home. I mean fan on na own team nko ansana me de asema me kana but asema me kana is just about ni ebesi wa sorry. As at them no say hey, I'm out for the radio be kwa sorry no mo penny omo but it looks like an appeal I'm for craft forget the radio no because I say Simon Hedeka ewo hohoi and appeal yen kwhwe say hohoi e ko ne sen ho na Peter John Amewu Ewo. Simon, Oteminka, good morning, and how are you doing? Hello, Simon Hedeka.
Yes, good morning. I can hear you.
Great. How are you doing? And how is Hawaii this morning? I know you've been working a lot. Tell us, do we have the results from Hawaii?
All right, so I'm fine, and so far so good. Hawaii is fine. Everything is going on successfully. Throughout the night, we are still at the police center. And after now, I'm talking to you, they are done with the presidential calculation, and the EC will not declare yet. So they are moving to the parliamentary one. And at the end of that one, I think the EC will declare to us the total number of votes that they have.
Okay. So at the moment, we don't have it yet.
No. At the moment, nothing. We're not declaring it.
Okay, but tell us the mood in Hohoi and its environment, especially around the coalition center. What appears to be happening in town?
All right, so actually, as you know, a lot of the police stations, the NDC parliamentary candidate have won job visa. That's who are have won a lot of the police stations. So, you know, the NDC people, jubilation yesterday, and even I'm talking to you, a lot of them are still at the EC office throughout the night, waiting for the declaration so that they can enjoy more.
I like the way you said they can enjoy more. Anyway, Peter, I said Peter. Simon, tell us about security situation and then maybe how soon we should expect the Hawaii certified votes results.
All right, so I know from the beginning of this yesterday, the crucial election that we have, I hope everything, due to the security, are very tight. I think nothing will happen, no conflict, no fight, and then everything will end successfully, I believe, yeah.
How soon should we expect the results? Are you able to tell us maybe in an hour or two?
I'm not sure an hour because there are 147 police stations. And for presidential, we use almost 5 hours to calculate that. And I hope the presidential, as I'm talking to you, we are leaving 27 police stations. So we're almost left with 100 and, if I'm saying, 123 left to count. And as I'm talking to you, 825. So God willing, that things I have 2 times, everything will come to an end.
All right. Simon, we are grateful to you. We'll come back to you in the afternoon and then see if we can get the certified results.
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much. Yenu Abema Simon Hedeka ne Kasaya was say certified results no ECM2 dwa we presidential na kenkan wie de na so aka parliamentary ne na wo kire mu say fiti enre nyina no NDC fo ne ni age instance polling station level no results ne bebre na yebobo so no ekoma wo mo na so ye twen say coalition center no EC ankasa ebe announce say ampa NDC etimi etu Peter Amewu ana wo mo ntimi entu no eno edu so na eba yebema mwehu nia eko quickly min kona na ho na me ka say Suffolk QB extra say ochina amafo bebre e de radios be ene no mo de radio no mo tie omo ye preach omo ntie ba se sia no as a picture a painting and shall say amafo radio come forget because they seem to know the direction it is going but exactly but meti we na me see before I ever kwa soro no asofo na nti se see asofo na omo bai be ye prophecy na we be fa no we results na e kom next time we be you etin yes anya me ni say bi so be ka say omo de omo kan abemu nti ene enu ano no but the question is na ankwama also anka obeka de it in say sa prophecy about weeding way befa mfama because it me fa be a delegates ye trimu ni mo mama kai say John as be your kind or say fear delegates we need fear the Ghanaian voter because now we are discerning enough we can read between the lines and we could be with you like this but really do we could pass here and there. Well, that's about that. Like I said, we are preparing once we get the live feed for our Sunday special service. We will bring that to you. Even though we recorded a few things we didn't want, at least generally in the BBA so far, counting college figures eba. Nti yenko asori kakra ngombaye enti nyame asem ye de ye general secretary apostle Samojewo Obobi ye hwe nim say na woni Mount Olives Worship Center ebesom enti no as and when eba ye be ko na ye de sa asori no abrem it's very important say ye be prepare mu na ebre ni du ni ye kwa wati ase se ye be kwa asori nanso se ne ye kan de bia no ye be ko yenim na yahwe nia eko in other places enti okay yeah getting ready ni akọ nana ho but nanka person me picking nana thoughts on hohwai no enti no esan say hohwai certified results ni my yen shada nko analysis bia for now but we know say current MPR what so ewo hohwai John Peter Emewu a woye NPP ni na last 4 years no eno wo this nsenkyereni no eba hohwai na wo study so na hu adwuma a waye a na ye hwe nim se hohwai for ebeka se wa bob no homodin enti wo mo san push ne akobio sa intimi emaye sa intimi si enti no ye beka so study Simon Hedeka, ye correspondent of Hohoi, de nkomo aba ye who say parliamentary the cry take you almost about 5 hours. And a woman presidential and take you about 5 hours. And a woman etimidi in Tiafina, wobo babe ye parliamentary. So we are ansana wobo the results nina aba. Senama can ye ko ye nimno yabe bobo so 1-1. Ebe bobo so 1-1. Results ni bi aba babe fa kakra emra na so emfa kakra emra. Aha ye Pent TV ye ko ye nim ye ko ye nim. Mame nsha se emfree Kumewu constituency. Kumewu constituency. Na yeko Kumewu constituency a figures na enunini NPP. Nana, say I will leave these results to you. Send I will the current one bar, and I'll try and match them against the 2021. And to my starting Kumewu, my main for Kumewu di and Emra Nafi. Your presenters platforms we nya results ni bebria. Ya di nyina ebe tuja amawo. Into Kumewu biomuno Kumewu ewo Ashanti region. Kumewu ewo Ashanti region. Into Kumewu mebeko Kumewu ahwenia ekoso this year no. Me pese me quickly no me check it sadia mani nyina into no Kumewu NPP NS ya wenim we ele parliamentary no eno na sisi me interested pa ntenwa na yebebobo wonya 21,464 ena NDC kwesi amankwa enya 6,723 nana eya onwanwa
just wosha me mom dear my country was about to move.
Yeah.
I'm up for all surprises. Enya de em wanwa kra.
Yeah.
It's no tememfo akasa, tememfo ato aba no. Eti de ada na wo mo e de ato no.
Yo.
Me mom dear say em wanwa pa de ye. Me wanwa kra.
Okay. But share Kumewu figures now as against 2024. Ultimately say ahano NPP kosoro. But NDC so kosoro. Now a honor issue and analysis aye de bia say Ashanti region and Kasana ni enim se dia NPP ebefa. But ye share votes NDC so ebetimi abone homodin enya wa Ashanti region. Eno na ebetimi epushi omo akọ. O hwe 2020 results ewo Asante Mantemu a NDC in 2020 enya 2,448 votes. 2020. Now, so this year, 2024, no, NDC enya 6,723. Not just say we nya about 2 times near we nya in 2020 no edi aka ni onyaye no ho nti on 6,000 plus 4,000 votes in kwa na NDC etimi atwe edi aka ni onyaye no ho and ho and a trick na happen some of the places in the Ashanti region. However, oko NPP so in year 2020 no onya 14,960. This year no we shoot to pa kosoro enya 21,000. Now to say we nya almost 6,000 close to 7,000 ediaka ni onya no, which is expected because it's a stronghold of the Ashanti region. What is surprising is the 4,000 votes NDC etiminya ewo hono, and that is another issue.
Ashanti region has sort of a surprise for the MPP as a party. I feel MPP was surprised the power was anti-mantem. What shall I to our banner? You can be a CNE, people who can be voted to be free. I feel about one and as I recommend as anti-mantem about one or from and one from no NDC and my opponents so any big. Voting patterns near Shana said the Nema hold what here. Oh, say the NDC Crabanya crack and Cabana kitty. Not in 2000s and not in the thousands.
When you twice 2020 Ediaka and no.
I feel one more two NDC. You are to NDC Rana Bano on.
Let's not also forget the first-time voters. Because almost say, you know, they may not have voted in 2020, but possibly feel say the kind of policies, campaigns, course on your marshal, they chose more NDC. I'm trying to look at the first-time voters' influence on these numbers.
First-time voters, no one will pay and a ban on 2 billion. But first-time voters do one man fail no fringe ye do what tree. Any adriano near back 18 years no man yana so much chama. Ghana mamra constitution ma wo ho pan se fa ho die wo mo emfa nto aba. Kwabna me rent free. We ya sentiment mo asem any ye kan. Na so sentiment mo asem any ye kan so dia. First-time voters so asem. Na first-time voters yi 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years fe no manya kwan abato aye to wo to bi wo mo ye sa nipa their friend said the free senior high school policy no atadwefo wa wo mo te ho dene and a free senior high school policy no so yes first time voters no me ma chiri ba manketo ayi o me nua ba ko o Pent TV friend na manya go Pent TV University o NSN afia 19 o sa he se na 18 afia na waso abato I encourage uncle choose a choice. And to one way free one moment.
I one or two things. Mesabad, you have made a key point, and I'm sure say you be as say I share parliamentary figures no but what we'll do is that you election in the certified results now. We'll pick some of these policies. Like you have raised a very important one, so that we can look at it, because the free SHS, like you are saying, it will look like a big disappointment to the NPP. But maybe the NDC will also say that they were able to convince Ghanaians enough that they were not going to cancel it, because that now also became one of the campaigns of the NDC that we started first way, but papa Nanado Dankwe Kufadena shared that year no major policy our the campaign and when everything is done and we are clear as to which lines there are, whether NPP has one or NDC, or you may first some of these policies and see what role it played on the results. However, Senamakano, we have quite a number of the constituency results coming through, the MP, the parliamentary. Let us go to those ones, and I'll mention them when Nana is ready. She will also bring some up. Meko, German North constituency. German North constituency for NPP. Enoch Nyako had 15,316 votes. 15,316 votes. And NDC Ahenkwa Frederick Yao had 21,134 votes. These are provisional results. Therefore, per the provisional results, the NDC won the German North constituency, the German North constituency parliamentary. Doma West constituency parliamentary. Now, NPP Ali Magai Malidu of NPP had 9,101 votes. The NDC Vincent Opon Asamoah had 11,299 votes. We can also therefore confirm that provisional results for Doma West constituency, the NDC has taken the seat. Also, Doma East constituency, NPP Paul Apreku Chum Berima, 12,050 votes. And then NDC's Owuswa Rachel Ama had 12,310 votes. Very, very close. Very, very close. It's about 240 votes difference. Also, Doma East, we can say that the NDC has also taken that seat. Tano North parliamentary NPP Dr. Gideon Boako 21,127. And NDC Pius Opoku Samson 17,707. So for Tano North, the NPP has taken that seat. Nana, these are a few. Okay, so Okankwe North, and no, yeah, the Abadeda NPP Nana Amadokwa 20,627. NDC's Theresa Ladi Awuni 28,363. Okankwe North, NDC has taken the seat. I've heard she has retained it because the incumbent is also NDC.
Yeah, Okankwe North Asamno.
Yeah.
Mami Nana Dokuya CMJ Free Pemba, yeah, Uncle Yama, 2020 no crowd, and votes difference near about 1,500. But this time around, a whooping 8,000. And I just say, I'm a Yukon Elusu. Sapa pronouns, Oko share 2020 presidential, so as Abreno, Naman Penny Kufuado, and I pray against the same John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. Voter turnout, a core, what share difference between parliamentary, no, Fuseni Issa, and I fancy Mama Theresa Ladia Wuni, Timide Kakrebi Konimunua. Na margin presidential no krano na no so na enso na so mo be hwe eye afi 2024 about year e ade a chese wo ma twom mu yie pa wo hwe de ye wraba omia enya ye na wo de ba be compare de afi so no owura John Dramani Mahama nya ye on the side of the NDC ticket here said the parliamentary no ya twe wo mu emu no pa sa NDC atimi atwe eye NPP mu no sa kwan kro na so e na chese etie e de ma eye presidential election so wo kan kwen tie me say generally no say wo parliamentary candidate na wo de be ba no krofo mpa wo mo ankwa ankoto a presidential no wo mo nto ntina ya dey am say moving forward political parties no
we'll have to look at that. All right, others are Ewahaye Odododio constituency. NPP Sowa Abdul Manaf 24,877. NDC Alfred Nikote Ashi 38,473. Intieba Odododio Dua Womunyina Womu ye new Womu Aba new candidates Banamana Intimiamba ye nua Berman ni Lante Van der Poel so ankobium. But the two ni nyina no NDC Alfred no eno ono ena owini ewo odododio. At Botiano English Amanfro constituency parliamentary, these are all parliamentary results. We are focusing on the parliamentary results, and I need to stress again that these are provisional results. Now, Botiano English Amanfro constituency NPP Sylvester Tete 27,888. NDC Okle Felix Akwiti 37,473. So in Botiano English Amanfro constituency, NDC has taken that seat as well. Ayawaso East constituency parliamentary NPP Zach Rahman 9,110 and NDC's Mahama Nassar Toure 22,139. Ayawaso East constituency. Therefore, the NDC has taken Ayawaso East constituency. Also, Ayawaso Central constituency, I know the Ayahu analysis crano. Ayawaso Central's constituency, NPP's Henry Corti 23,345 and NDC's Abdul Rauf to Bazu 29,755. Inti Ayawaso Central so MP what so aye MPP ni tuno amasisia NDC nino and alpha. These are all provisional results. Nana.
Kwabena yebekwa from Mantem. Na so bra na yedi hoho enkobo no. Sa bra na me microphone oboni team ko boni team. Na kwabena hoho enkomo ya na yebo yewra John Peter Amewu etimbe fa akonwa no ma na ye nwanwa surprise kakra ga na ha sei no. It is a traditional now for the past 28 years. Na NPP amanyoko no ntumi mfa akonwa among the 18 constituencies na award the voter region no emu. Enti na abra ye rapita be ube fa na chese amanyoko no nya homi bi agu wo ho se o ene enyenye kwa na chese voter region kra no ye boy homode ne ye ho betimi abode awura honom. Eti ene as to whether say hoho so no ye rapita me ubetimi akoso atena so a se incumbent na se hoho ifo no wo mo to no zu ene za. Enti eva hoho ensi honom. Na ye de hoho isi honom a ye gina from Mantem ho a yanko not die kwabna mini presidential ni free na parliamentary nemra wa hu said na wo ye no na ye ntwen EC presidential
exactly.
Enti parliamentary no not die MPP de no oginam Edmond Atta Kujo wonya 4,723. NDC Joycelyn Tete wonya 12,778. LPG Gloria Yaira Agbeneto onu enya 134. Mamemfa emra pue Mantem the eastern region yankwa Kwapem South. Kwapem South yakwa kogina mu on the side of okay so when the presidential mamemfa ma osa presidential Kwapem South provisional results ni NPP 16,516, NDC 13,232, afufrofo nya 384. Yanko Okere constituency Ekwapem Okere constituency presidential provisional results MPP 12,122, NDC 9,266, afufrofo enya 384. Mayanko in Kranza North where parliamentary results Jacqueline Boatma Bonsu onya 9,784 on the side of the NPP. Mensa Kwesi Joseph NDC onya 10,453. Reverend Charles Owusu independent candidate onya 5,486. Boahine Clement LPG onya 92. And it's in Kranza North constituency anka eya yehu kakra ana eya ye die ewo ho kakra. Independent candidate Reverend Charles Owusu wofa bi pa wofa bi obani independent and so wofa bi power in Kranza North parliamentary candidate in sensemo yen sanson ko from Mantem voter regional yanko Adaklu presidential provisional MPP 1,375, NDC 13,716, Afufrofonya 161. Akachi South presidential provisional NPP 2,195, NDC 31,564, Afufrofo Enya 350, Afe, you know, presidential provisional NPP 8,346, NDC 12,083, Afufrofonya 412. Yenko Keta constituency still in the voter region. Presidential, the NPP 2,141, NDC 30,995. Yedaso ewa Akachi South constituency voter region NPP Egos Mauli Oklo onya 3,399, NDC Bernard Ahiafo onu enya 30,263. Not just a vote a free voter region ebane die eyadia NDC amanyoko na fa ni boom boom boom. NPP vote ewa voter region no afi ewa form pa cha afi etwa mu no ewa form pa. Okay, Adan constituency presidential NPP 3,215, NDC 25,807. Adan constituency. North Town constituency parliamentary NPP John Xavier Yao Ele Blue. John Xavier Yao Ele Blue onya 3,036, NDC Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa onya 41,33 and Samuel North Town constituency. Ono na ye incumbent MP a wati adwam mrahebedwam wo si eye North Town fo wo anemu wa fa ni boom 41,000 over 3,000 against the NPP. Jo ye beto aso akwa eye parliamentary na total vote cast e ba ye no 49,718, rejected 258. Number of polling stations at Tuabani Ninano 175. Oh, one baby copoting, one fedina. Okay, my member no enya honum. My member German North constituency presidential NPP 12,837. NDC 22,622. Yankwa Bono East region. Yenyina Senate West parliamentary. Bono East region. Kwame Ampofuchuma si NDC nipa odene koye onya 13,824. Where the na ye close pa na NPP nsu nipa odene koye ono so di Joseph Kuma Make ono so nya 13,362 na chese ne kokoka kakrebe vote of about 400 pe ka omo yate ne pepa na nso so wo share results e ba Senate West parliamentary na Kwame Ampofuchuma si NDC wafa enkonimdie wo honom. Yen Samson share Senate West presidential John Mahama onya 16,703. Yerabamia MPP onya 9,227. And it's would the way gun sani ani awutimi hunu say eye Senate West parliamentary no dodwana eto no skirt and blouse. Wamo to edema MPP parliamentary na abra ba na presidential no wamo to amfama bamia san say parliament no Joseph MPP nya 13,362. Emma NDC nipa no Kwame Ampofuchuma si NDC nso nya 13,824. Now the gunsani ani hwe na ohwe presidential eba ye na 16,000 over 9,000. Na chese parliamentary nka omo ya ye ni chempe. Nenso kakra kwa so de ma NDC ni no bato ba hwe presidential ne dia. Wo mo to ni bumu pa. Edema John Mahama eye NDC amanyokuo no wey eye Bono East region Bono memo Senate West parliamentary Senate West constituency ene eho ensensem yo afei Nabdam constituency yenko Nabdam constituency etifido presidential NPP 5,959 NDC 11,393. Afram Plains South presidential results total vote cast 23,720, total valid votes 22,863, rejected ballot papers na 857. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia Diawanya Yenie 5,909. Daniel Augustus GCPP onya 64. Christian Kwabna Andrews Gumo Gumusofu Chirabosum onya 37. Kofi Akpalu onya 15. Mohammed Frempong onya 18. Mami Akosia Frempoma wojinemu Edema Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Legacy CPP wonu onya 158. John Dramani Mahama 16,479. Hassan Ayarga APC onya 61, Kofi Kranti nya 6, George Chung onya 4, Nana Kwame Bedia Kocheda New Force onya 77, Alan Kwajo Chiramantin Movement for Change M4C oje 35. Wey aba a free Afram Plain South, that is a Kwau Portamom. Yanko Odododio Duo constituency, Presidential NPP 22,624, NDC 40,100, Odododio Duo constituency, Enanom. Afei Adan constituency, Parliamentary MPP, Suzette na Nole Donuki. Suzette na Nole Donuki Norte. Wonya 8,119. NDC Comfort Doyo Kujo. Onya 22,019. Not just a hanum no washa. Washa hanum ne padia na womotoye. Adan constituency Ekodema NDC. Ayawaso Central constituency. Parliamentary MPP Henry Kwate, Hona near Cassages, Uncle Yama, regional minister, no, Uncle Yama, regional minister, Cram. Henry Kwate, Enya 23,345, NDC Abdul Rauf, Tonjim Tubazu, Onya 29,755, that's Osha Dia. Watching mu versus over 6,500 in today, and I just watching mu. I also is constituency Parliamentary NPP. Zach Rahman 9,110 NDC. Mahama Nazar Turi Onya 22,139. English okay, Mr. Hadia Kwabena de kind dia badada. English Kwabena say hano de buy.
Yeah, English
amount from you know. Kwabena Edia no Abba. Okay, Doma East constituency, Parliamentary NPP, Paul Aprekuchum Berima 12,050 on the side of MPP, NDC Owusu Rachel Amma Onya 12,310. Doma West constituency, Parliamentary MPP, Ali Maiga Halidu Onya 9,101. NDC Vincent Opong Asamwa 11,299. German North constituency, Parliamentary NPP, Enoch Nyako Onya 15,316. NDC Ahinkan Frederick Yao 21,134. So far, so good. So far, Ghana Edasu Ejina Painting. So far, Ghana Egusu Eyi and Pennyfo. Where the two joining now? The election watch, Pent TV, Pent Media Center, Yen TV, Yen Radio, Wokumase, and Yen online, Pent TV online. A honum says, see our qua, ya twap team, dear quality, dear Ben results, baby, I can't walk see you now. Ya analysis sniff a fair, come at the hopper fair, clear, or now caution dear airco, na dear, yet china, yentimi and sumuye, way a provisional results. Not certified by electoral commission. Dear yatsi and central for them as well for my yahunu, and your dear mamono. Ye did go to the about when it's she. Dear better from the answer because we are so edia some additional Emma came and say.
Well, interesting results there. So again, let us stress that all these are provisional results. They will remain provisional results. So please take note of them. If you are watching us and you are getting all these figures, it's because these figures are provisional results.
Okay, you. Enti Kwabna, so the election watch on Pent TV.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm for bit me for 2024 presidential results. No, na share near echo. Oko your website pentvonline.com. We have tried to give you the percentages as they happen. All right, take a break, kakra. Na na komo kakra. Let's take a short break. We are not going anywhere. It's just a short one. We'll sit down and continue the conversation from there. For now, like I said, it's just the results that are coming through. It's just the results that are coming through. Stay with us. We are not going anywhere. It's our live coverage.
November 2024. All
Attention, my Ghana people. Election day almost here. This December 7th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. sharp. Each of us has the power to shape the future of our nation. Your vote in the presidential and parliamentary elections can make a real difference. Now, this is how to ensure that your vote counts. When you arrive at the polling station, verify your identity. Even if your voter ID card is missing, go to your polling station. You will be allowed to vote. Now, receive a ballot paper. Take a moment to check that it has a validating stamp at the back. This is very important, and make sure that it is clean and undamaged. Step up to the voting screen. Place your thumb on the ink pad and carefully place it in the box next to your chosen candidate's name, photo, and symbol. Be very careful to keep your thumbprint within the box. Remember to wipe your thumb with the tissue provided in the voting screen before you touch the ballot paper again. Then fold the ballot lengthwise and place it in the ballot box. Be very, very mindful. Your vote will be rejected if you thumbprint for more than one candidate, leave it blank, or if it's missing a validating stamp at the back. So take note, after voting, officials would conduct a transparent count. Ballots will be verified, sorted, and counted, with party agents carefully observing every step of the process. And yes, remember, this election is your opportunity to choose leaders who represent you. So step out on December 7th to vote and let your voice be heard. Your vote is your future. Remember, we vote with our thumbs, not guns. Weapons have no place at the polling station. Attention, my Ghana people. Election day is almost here. This December 7th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. sharp. Each of us has the power to shape the future of our nation. Your vote in the presidential and parliamentary elections can make a real difference.